Oh, the bun. You got the John Snoo bun. Mine's more of a black swan one. Kind
okay,
of.
so.
Not as strict.
Okay, cool. We are live.
We're alive.
Cool. All right, so they're good. They have the link that they need, so now we can set the cameras. I just want to make sure that Sarah had what she needed. You got bug bites? All right. Would you mind? There we go. Shanti holding the.
Oh my gosh, your arm is so blue.
Here, why don't we do this? Why don't you hold it right where this camera's going to zoom in?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so right there.
Oh.
Because that way we don't have to adjust the cameras, you know?
Yes.
All right, so function on the side here. We'll let it change the manual. So it's this little button right here, function. So you hit that, and then the little thing comes up on the screen. It says manual, and then you go to white balance, and then you go to.
Wow.
All right, there we go.
Balance.
All right, so there's one.
Oh.
I feel like that camera is balanced to the whiteness.
All right, so now this is the same way here, where we need
Actually,
to.
this is probably okay.
Well,
Even though
you should always white balance two cameras together.
No, I'm talking about the angle of the other camera.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, function. Change the manual, and then you hit white balance there, and then down. Oh, damn you. Function, white balance. Is that Nate?
No, that was me.
Okay.
Nailed it.
But I will see.
Cool. All right. So zoom out.
Yep. Okay.
Now the couch is the same color.
Yeah.
I think this is okay. I mean, the
Go
one
to camera.
is.
Go to camera one. This one. Okay. So the one I'm gonna go a little tighter.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just because the more we have the different of the two angles, there'll be even more options to go through.
It is slanted though.
Oh, you mean like?
Yeah, it's just like. There you go. That's
That's the cool thing about these arms. They bend.
Ow. I know. That's a nice way.
Yay! Hooray, everybody!
That's like exactly where we started.
That's
I mean, it works. It works.
Actually, the couch is much more straight there,
Yeah.
across the back rim.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good. What do you think?
I think it looks great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, make it
if
look
he's,
better.
If he's right,
Me.
I think that will work.
Is it a second camera? Am I on the second camera?
That's the wide one, so yes.
Alright, so
Yeah, the laptop windows.
okay.
Cool.
Yeah, right now I'm not on the camera.
Go to camera the wide. There you go.
Dude,
So you're on the wide. So we'll be on the wide for when we're talking with Graham. And if I'm saying something, we'll go to that. It just gives us options for cuts, you know. But what I'd like to do though is I would like to position you as close in so that we have some more light on you.
I'm just gonna open my shirt up a little bit.
I just want to make sure you get.
Some football colors.
Yes, sir. Old school style. My retro shirt.
You could also kind of do a bit of that to give you a little bit more light. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Dig it. I turned in my stuff so I don't have my bounce in my car.
Oh.
I had a bunch of equipment from yesterday, but I had to turn in today.
Okay, so he's there. Do we want to do a mic check on all of us first? Just
Yes.
so we can do it without Nate.
Should I have headphones?
Yes. There's headphones right here, but you won't hear. And you plug directly into the headphone port A, so you might need to move that little adapter over. But you won't hear us. But
what?
do you want the crappy ones? I got crappy ones
No,
too.
no,
I think I've got some junk ones as well.
Did she post the link yet?
She might have.
Let me see.
No. the
script, and there's, yes. Oh, look.
Thanks getting out there. Have fun.
There was Mia sitting in the chair, looking like a fool with her pants on the ground.
bad about things. Alright.
Pants on the ground, pants on the ground.
Alright.
We have 2 people watching, and I'm one of them.
I'm watching too.
Well, we just
Then
it
it's
just
you.
got posted too.
Just kidding, I'm not watching.
You're
I'm
the
watching
other
on
one.
the-
Okay. So who is who? This is on, so I'm gonna turn this off.
All right, I'll just keep talking. Yeah, move whatever you need to. I know everything's kind of mushed in there,
Okay.
but it should be channel 1 or 2.
Where is that mute
Do do do
button?
do 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 do.
Oh, there you are. You are. Ooh. Turn down that game, though. Okay, that's enough of that. Who's next? Graham,
Just jealous
I think?
of our fat beats. Check,
Wait,
check.
good.
Hey, look at me. I'm talking on the microphone.
Oh, if you want to.
I got beats for days. I got beats for weeks. I got beats for months. I got beats for years. I'm not loud. Let me move it up here. How
Okay,
about now, underneath my chin, everybody?
stand by. Let's check these microphones, make sure they have batteries in them.
Oh,
They
yeah.
should all. I put them in.
All right, so this one's got one. Graham's got one too.
Yeah.
Hang on.
It's done.
I'm on the minutes. Oh, that's Bryce.
Well, check them all. Here, I'll check them. Yours might be on me.
Okay. Brian's is working. Keep talking.
Check, check. Brian's up.
Oh yeah, Brian's good. Keep chatting though. Keep chatting though.
Hey, look at me. Look at me. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
Hey,
Mr. Meeseeks, look at me. Check your microphones, Jerry. Says battery in it. Yeah, that's good.
I can hear it unscrewing,
I can hear
but I
it
can't hear you.
coming back again. Well, if I put it up there, no, it's definitely not going through.
Weird.
Zippity doo dah, zippity a.
I'll just repeat everything you say.
Yes, my translator. But he's gonna say different things and he's gonna put words in my mouth. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, what the hell? That's not what I said. Hey, here we go.
No,
That's
that's,
a-
still
oh.
Casey. Okay, so are you number 1, Graham?
I don't know.
No, you're not.
No. Ichiban.
Do you need help?
Ichiban
I
Shi
just
go.
know what's going on with
Roku.
his.
So
I
Graham
think
is
you-
3.
I'm
Yes,
what?
he is. I
Why?
have his game.
The things. I mean,
Always
I'm
too.
Okay, so those are all good.
nobody's
Not
turning
muted.
nothing yet.
Yeah.
Oh, why am
Is it-
I
is he
not
5?
being heard today? No,
You're purple, right, Graham?
Yeah.
You're purple.
Am I purple? Yeah.
Purple. So
There's a battery in it.
yeah, he's got a battery in it.
This is me. Okay, so that is on.
Shock wax on. Oh, what happened there?
He played a bit of the thing.
Yeah, that was me. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
it's
that
for
was
sure
through the-
3.
Okay, cool.
So where did it play out of? It played out of those?
I'll put it in my headset.
Oh, in your headset. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't hear anything.
I think my headset is also program audio.
Try talking into it again, real close.
Yeah,
Graham.
okay. This is me talking really close, like ridiculously close to this microphone, like so close that it should
Let me
be
see this
dangling.
thing. I have a feeling that this is not actually.
Just a dead battery?
Yeah, I have a feeling it might be a dead battery.
Yeah.
Could be.
Oh,
Where are your
They just put it
sparks?
backwards.
Oh, it's...
Was it really?
Hopefully
yeah.
that's not
Good
bad.
job.
Okay, we've all had. Casey's had a few silly mistakes. This one's mine. That means you two
Oof.
are due for
Oh,
one.
what is going on with that?
Well, I fixed this thing several times. So, what about now?
Yeah, now I'm on.
Now
Now
he's
I'm talking.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to fix my level, I guess.
this yeah, go ahead and get the levels.
Check.
So what ended up happening with this guy is it had
Yeah.
a calcium deposit inside of it,
Oh, calcium deposit.
and I had to like repair that mic, and that's how I got it for free.
Was it for like a just extra batteries?
The battery got left in there, so I had to like get a thing.
That sounds good.
Gross.
Yes? Can you hear yourself okay?
I'm a little soft, to be honest.
Nah, just something.
I mean, I'm a little more of a little soft. No, just the volume wise. I don't know, maybe it's just because I might be too far away.
It could be. You're pretty high.
Okay. Because it's right here, it's super loud.
Do you want to try on your t-shirt? Yeah. Would that help at all?
How about now? That's, if I do it there, it's like it's inverting. It's weird.
I can hear you pretty clear, if that helps. Are you just quiet to yourself?
Maybe I'm just quiet to myself. That's a little better, actually.
I got real bad pinch.
Good. I can hear you.
Headset.
I think we're okay.
Get one right in between there.
Yeah.
See if you can, what you think.
Alright, well, I'm turning you all on mute.
Starting
Can you turn it back on so Casey can hear it? What do you think of this? Is this okay volume, or do you think it's too loud or too soft?
Whoa! Static electricity got me again.
I heard that in my headphone.
We're about to watch
Christmas.
All right.
Electrocuted.
That's the end of Weird Al Haircut. Oh, what happened there?
Where's...
Okay, now
I'm
it's super loud.
Is that Phantom?
Well, I'm just doing some adjustments. Stand by.
Okay.
Make sure...
Just gonna sit over here and chew gum into my microphone.
We're all muted on
Chew gum and kick
on the
ass.
stream,
A lot
right?
of gum. What's this gum there? I guess I could have been kicking.
I'm gonna put a little gate on all of us for compression,
Sure.
so that we're not going too crazy in terms of peaking.
Okay.
I haven't done that before, but I'm gonna try it again this way.
No peeking.
But everyone's pretty good in terms of levels
What
here.
could happen?
Okay, so is it? Let's turn everybody's mic live and just see, because we gotta bounce against all of them.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let's just go live.
Is it time?
Yeah,
we
I might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's almost here.
okay.
Game on, everybody.
And you can kill the iTunes on the laptop. It's playing the music just now.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I'm a bit loud.
Yeah. So check. This mic is live.
Yes, it is live.
So you're getting the input right now with the recorder right now. How is the episode levels compared to us?
Playing music again?
Play the episode. I think would be.
Or yeah.
We're
Play something on
alive.
the other side of my ear.
Should we play now?
It's playing.
Where's the Mac?
The story of survival.
Check.
Check.
This is us talking against it.
I'm having words.
Pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
I lowered the volumes considerably because last
Chapter
time we did
5.
peak like crazy on that recording.
So I don't hear it at all.
Lady
so
and
I
the
need
Tink.
something to hear.
Oh, did you change it to input A?
Part 1 of
Yes.
3.
Oh, this might be all.
Is your knob down?
It's down.
Okay, go.
Written by Casey Whalen.
Game time, everybody.
Nate should be here any minute now, so
I'm
we'll
back.
get ready to get started here.
I know you all missed me. I missed you more. I missed you all more. You don't even know.
Aww. Yeah, we are glad to have you back. This is
Glad to be back. Such a weird, crazy.
well, don't
month
tell
and a
us.
half.
Don't tell us yet. We're gonna talk about it here in a second.
We're
So,
gonna talk about my life.
well, we can say where you were. That's fine.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do that.
If it's a good excuse. If it's not, then people are gonna turn on you.
Well, no, it's just a bummer. All right.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about the Canada thing. Never
Oh
mind.
no, I'll talk about that all day long. That was great times. No, I was talking about
I was
but
talking
I wasn't missing because of the Canada thing.
Yeah. Well, let's.
I'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'll give you. I will indulge.
Give us the light version. You know what? This is the first time I've seen you since then.
I know. Hello, friend. How are you? I missed you.
I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. Thank you.
I understand.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I know you do. We're live right now, right? People.
We
are
are live to the internet. We're not technically recording. I mean, let's just might as well let's just do it.
I don't need
hit record.
I don't need a bummer Nate out when he gets here. So I'll.
Yeah, we can-
I'll tell everyone that's watching now where I was, and then when he gets here, I'll be happy, fun.
Sure, that's fine. And hold on. So, are you recording there?
Not yet. Let me know.
So just go ahead and prime it to record, and then I'll hit record here.
Ready?
And go. Okay, recording on the Evolve, and there, and here we go.
Awesome. Oh, you're doing a clap.
Yes, at the sync clap, Graham. Here, let me add some more noise in there.
Graham ruined it.
Honestly, it's not that big a deal. I mean, the big thing is just make sure we get the head and tail claps, but we're good now. So,
All right, cool.
So welcome back, Graham.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, everybody.
Let's do the ceremonial turning off the air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
Which is a bummer today because it is literally 90 degrees and it's 8 o'clock at night.
I know it is. We recorded very late today,
Ugh.
and it's still very, very warm. But you might notice our new camera angles too.
Yeah, we're
We got-
fancy
we
right
got,
now.
We actually got everything, I think, working today 100% for the first time.
It only took-
oh, look at that. There's a second camera.
What?
We have a
What?
2-shot now.
We have a 2-shot. Well, this
Yeah.
is more like it's a 3-shot almost. Well,
Well, kind of. You got go to the 2-shot again. What,
I mean,
did your head duck
it's
down?
a traditional 2-shot, but there's 3
yeah,
people.
you
in
can
it.
you can kind of like you
There's
can
gonna
come
be
down
4
to
people in it when
yeah.
naked too. It's gonna be a 4-shot.
You can actually come down to the shot. That's it.
Do you want to explain where Nate is?
Oh yeah, so Nate is currently coming here. He, traffic, LA freeway. We live in Orange County, so he has to come down and fight the crowds. Brian has to do the same thing. He's from LA.
It took me over 2 hours. It sucked. It was all kinds of crazy shit.
It took me like 20 minutes to get from Fullerton, and that's in Orange County to here. So
It's been warm lately, and when we've had like a heat wave like this, nobody drives well anyway.
no, nobody.
If they have one excuse to drive shittily, it's in California that comes up.
Heat, rain, whatever. If it's God forbid it ever snows here, then we're screwed. If it
Yeah.
snows in California,
Well,
well,
do you
Southern
want-
California, I should say.
Well, do you want to communicate to our live streamers where you were, Graham?
Yeah, so-
Brian, would you go to camera wide? Camera wide.
Camera
There
wide.
we
So I
go.
missed last episode recording. I didn't want to, but and this is a little bit of a bummer. I'm sorry, but one of my uncles passed away from a very rapid case of cancer, and it was not fun to watch him degrade over the course of a month, to go from perfectly fine to getting a diagnosis to being gone. Like, you can't really.
Yeah.
You can't really fathom that, and it took me a while to process it.
Stuff that happens that quickly sits in a weird spot. Like
I know.
the unexpected just kind of, and I was like, I felt so bad, and I was like, So I'm glad you're back, but I felt so bad for you, man. I know it's a really hard adjustment.
I mean, I wanted to be here, and I was like trying to get my mental faculties together to try to make it happen. And it's like, both Casey and Shanti and everyone was like, "No, dude, no, don't. We got this. Don't worry about it. We can handle it." Which I'm glad that we're gonna talk about episode 4 though a little bit in the cap, because I think episode 4 is probably one of my favorites so far.
Oh, that's cool to hear.
That and 5. So the 2 that I have liked so far have been.
Well, that just means that we keep on getting, each one is just going to keep on getting better and better.
I'm actually feeling that. Like, you're saying that as a jest, but I believe that to be truth, because so far that has held serve. Like, every episode has improved. You found your voice a little bit more and more, adding
Just
new
wait till
characters.
10. 10 is where I think we pick up the big stride.
10's here.
Hey! Hey, give me a hug. Don't get shakes. Welcome.
What's up, man? How are you, buddy? We're on the air too. Yeah.
Yeah, let me get you a water.
That's all right. Have a
For
seat.
you, if you want any more. You got water?
I'm good. I got
I've got an empty water.
my brandless, clearly not Del Taco iced tea.
Maybe they'll give us sponsorship.
Oh, in that case, my Del Taco brand
take one
iced
more.
tea.
Casey, I'll take one more.
Oh, shit.
No worries. You all right?
Yes, here you go. There's so many wires in here, you have to be careful. Yeah, I got shit everywhere.
Is this the setup?
This is the setup.
You just sit here and we basically are just hanging out. Which is
This
this?
is a sweater.
Oh, is this yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
What is this?
What is this
Well, I
thing?
thought it was Graham's, and I was
No,
like, oh.
I'm not nearly fit enough to wear that.
And,
You gotta have muscles to wear that shit.
Hey,
I
go ahead
don't.
and tap in.
I don't
or
have
we just
that.
anywhere you want in the front. If we got to adjust
We're gonna
we will.
mic check him real quick,
So
everyone.
it's basically just us hanging out on the couch.
Yeah.
I like it. I saw a little bit of the Elisa episode. I haven't listened to episode 5, so we're listening to this thing, right?
We're listening to it
Yeah,
live
man.
and commenting on the way. So if you,
Oh, wow.
the great thing about this is it's a little different than when we did Apartment 2C, because the cool thing, it's more like a director's commentary. So you get to
Okay.
you'll hear some outtakes of your lines from the episode,
Yeah.
and you'll get a little bit more in detail about like some of the behind the scenes of as we go through, because there's a lot of little stuff that we didn't even talk about. So
Yeah.
All right.
we're having fun. It's a cool show, and we record it live to tape, so don't be too shy of.
It's weird Oh, there's the camera.
Well, Brian,
No,
would you
it's
switch the camera, the other
Oh,
camera, so you can
there's a
see?
bunch of
We have
There's
we
a-
have two cameras.
There?
Yeah, we got that one and we got that one up there. They're now mounted
Yeah.
so that we can.
Wait, what were they before? Floating?
Yeah.
Kinda. Actually, we shoved them in the shelves, so they were like. And then if you had to like make adjustments, you had to like get into the shelf to like do it, and this worked out so much better. So
This
now
is
we
way
have
better.
mounted cameras, and little by little, like every week, we're just getting a tiny bit better.
They say that the angles are not switching when you switch.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I'm not switching on here.
Wait, what? Oh no, we have the. That's weird.
Oh, okay, it's cool. You know what? Go to the other camera. I'm sorry, not the other camera. Go to the last setting over there on the far right.
This one?
Yeah, try that one. Is that one switching?
We have lower thirds too.
Yes.
We got lower
Okay,
thirds,
use that one, and then go. What about the one to the left of that? That's the Pro Tool session, and that one will switch, right?
Yeah, we're just getting the screen within the screen, though.
Yeah. Okay, so let me do something really fast. I'll fix it.
All right.
So
So let me continue this quick story. So that's where I was this last month. So I wasn't on the show, but I thank you guys all for your thoughts. I really appreciate it. It's been really cool for me and my family. Yeah. And then I just got. Do you want to talk about Canada now, or do you want to talk about it later?
We can. Yeah, we can talk about it later.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say I can do it to stall for time.
Sure, go ahead.
this is the fun part, is that everything is just
Yeah.
fly by night. And
So
This is awesome.
I'll be in here. So I just got back from the Great White North, America's Hat, Canada. Just kidding. It's a lovely place, and I had a good time. I had poutine. I ate some elk poutine. It's so good. I had a bunch of potato chips. America, you don't know, but Canada's potato chips game is way better than any potato chip that we have
There you
here.
go.
Like,
Now you have both.
I don't know.
oh no, it's true though, because they've got ketchup chips.
Cool.
You ever have ketchup chips?
Thanks, audience.
No, they sound like what they seem to sound like what they taste like, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's like if you dipped a French fry in ketchup, and like got that good taste. But
And
it's
then fried it.
but they put it in like a chip, like a Lay's potato chip, so it's like ketchup flavored. Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, this is gonna be weird. I don't know if I like
But you
ketchup
liked
chips,
it?
but I loved it. I have 4 bags of the stupid thing.
within a screen.
But yeah, lots of good stuff. Good mountains, good snow, which is weird to come from snow to 100-degree weather, but it is what it is. Like within a week, just like snow. Okay, now hot. My body hates me.
I just came from Hawaii, so I'm.
That's right, you did.
Yes, I'm
We're-
in a very
we're-
similar boat of hotness to hotness.
We were both
What
wedding
island
bound.
Did you go to?
Kauai.
Oh,
The most
is that big
expensive
one?
island.
Is that the big one?
No, it's one that most people don't know about. It's like out of all, if you look at the Hawaii like island as if it was like a ramp, it's like the top one closest to the end. That's not the Forbidden Island. The very end of the island, the very top one, is the Forbidden Island of Nihu.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
Why is it forbidden?
you have to be a local. Only locals are allowed on that island. Nobody who's of a
No
different.
Howleys allowed.
Nope.
But like how like strict are they on this like
Very.
requirement? Is it like trying to get into the Playboy Mansion? Like,
They'll kick you. They will have people escort you off the island
to
like-
what, the water?
to the boat. Yes. I think they'll like, there you go. Get back on your boat. You're not allowed here. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's like
Wow.
you get off. Show me your Hawaii credentials. Get back on.
Man.
I honestly, I really wanted to go to that island just to see what it's like. I looked at maps and it's really creepy. There's nothing there but like little small settlements.
Oh, well then why would you want to go there?
Because someone tells you you can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the Forbidden
wait,
Island.
there's a place that Google Maps has not charted?
You can see it from the air, but you can't go. Like there's roads, but you can't drop the little man.
Wow.
Yeah,
You can't drop the little man.
the little man does not go on that island either.
Fun
He's
fact-
forbidden too. He's not a local.
So you were at Kauai. That's like that's the Honolulu and Stitch, man.
Is it?
That's the island that they're from. Is
Oh,
Kauai.
it's a huge island. I was blown away. There's like the Grand Canyon of the Pacific there. That like
Yeah.
you look over it and it's just like this gigantic drop that's like literally the Grand Canyon. It's huge.
Did you go to any other islands? Did you go like Molokai or anything like that?
Nah, just that island. But we did explore the entire thing all the way around, and we'll post pictures about it later. It was one of those things where it's like I didn't tell anybody I was going until I'm back. So
I knew.
yeah, you knew. All my close friends knew.
Yeah.
But anybody online, I was like, nah, I'm
Well,
not.
now I'm feeling some kind of way.
Well, Well, I knew the reason he was going too because I wanted to go and I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
it was
wasn't invited.
there was a mutual friend was having a wedding and oh, it was amazing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And we left the baby at home, which was really nice to have a vacation for the first time in like 4 years. So very cool, very cool. Let's get into this.
Yeah, let's do it.
So welcome to We're Live Archive, Chapter 5, Lady and the Tink.
Yep.
Oh, before we begin though, let's
just stop that music.
Well, Graham was gone last week, so we want to get his notes from Chapter 4 first, really quickly, which was rules and regulations. And I actually wore the shirt today with the rules of the tower, which was...
I've seen this shirt many, many times. Never understood it until I finally listened to the episode. I'm like, I get it now.
Yeah, the four general orders of the tower.
You know, I don't want to take too much time to go through an episode you've already dived into pretty well, but I wanted to tell you, I told you before, and I wanted to say again
let's hear your overalls.
I think episode 4, before I listened to episode 5, episode 4 was one of the best episodes that I've heard so far in this series. And I'm not just saying that because it's in order and I'm like, oh, 4 and then 5, but there was a lot of things that were finally fleshed out about the world in terms of episodes. We got a lot of ambiguities kind of cut. We saw some character development, specifically the character of Kelly. Kelly and Tommy, the two, the aunt and nephew, I guess is the word.
Who was on our show last week.
Yeah,
Tammy
I'm really bummed because I would have loved to pick her brain about her character because you really, I mean, you hear a lot of, in the new arrivals about those two, and you're like, okay, but then you have Tommy's special gifts and his ability to like take video recorders and make security cameras out of it and basically save everything, and then you get Kelly, who is not his mother, who's just his aunt, and she's basically like lording over this dude, and it's like, oh, poor kid, like let him do what he does. I'm glad that he stands up to her toward the end. I'm glad that happens, and I'm also glad that she gets her little taste of eating crow, and they're like, when Michael goes, you know what, get out of here, just go. I thought that was a big moment for Michael's character, which was great. I thought that was a big moment for the story because it really showed Michael finally being like the definitive, like, I am in charge person, where before we had that kind of back and forth between Michael and Angel. Now it's like definitely Michael is the guy. He is the main person here.
The power struggle is now like the civilians are choosing to be there, rather than than some other. You're not stuck here. You choose to be under our control.
Yeah. But I really like the way that they dealt with Bill finally. Because I was kind of like, how are they going to deal with Bill being up in that spot? Like, how is that going to happen? And then to have Bert basically come in and he's like, I'm just going to take over this. I got this now. Bert being Bert and doing Bert things.
Oh, the Bert.
The Bert. But yeah, and then to go from that and going, how are they going to top this in an episode? And then getting into episode 5 and hearing the first thing we hear
is not Michael.
It's not Michael, and I'm like, wait.
Oh wait, was this the first time that I narrated?
This is the first time.
Yeah. Oh, wait, is this the one where we go looking for the tinker? Or
yeah, it's the first opening up episode of Saul's character.
Yeah,
okay.
You get a lot.
And we find out who you are for the first time, I think.
So that's why I was like very excited because I was like, oh, how are they going to beat this? And then now we know.
Well, because Saul would never have talked to anybody else about this stuff. He would not have talked to Michael, and he would not have talked about Angel about this stuff, but he finally finds his people.
This is a journal, though, right?
Yes, it's a journal.
Yeah, so he's really not talking to anybody except for himself, his own book.
Well, but he's talking to them in the scenes, per se.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. I think, I think we're...
So that's my thoughts on 4, and I also like the rules. I think they work out for the tower. I think they work great, and I can't wait to see some more of the rules and people not following them. Because usually whenever you set up rules... someone's going to break them, and there's consequences.
That's a good foreshadow. I think you might be onto something there.
A little trope.
But that might be taking a while to get there. So.
Yeah, we'll get there. I don't know if Nate, do you know the whole premise of like what I'm doing here in terms of like?
I read a little bit of what Shanti said. That you haven't listened to this at all.
Yeah, with the exception of the 5 now that I've listened to, and the episodes that I was on when I was Max, I haven't really, and even those I didn't have a chance to listen to.
Yeah, like you only really you jumped in for a couple lines and you don't.
Yeah,
know.
I have not listened to this series first all the way through, so
well, I'm gonna. Yeah, me neither.
so he's gonna take over as the avatar of the people.
I mean, I've listened to the first season I listened to all the way through. The second season, most of it, and then
It just gets too long.
Well, I ended up reading all the scripts, like, because you kept sending all the scripts, so I read them all, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait until it's all done, which was like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Jesus, I should have done this by now. And listened to it all the way through, but I haven't done it.
That's okay.
It's all right.
We'll get you. We'll get you back on there.
I remember how it ends.
I don't.
Don't tell him.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just roll in. If you're ready, Brian.
Oh man.
So at any time we kind of have this rule
We're
that
alive.
you can generally just talk over the
Story
episode,
of
or if you want to
survival.
stop it and say something, we can stop it too.
I just
Yeah.
know it's gonna
Chapter
be really difficult
5.
listening to myself, as always.
Lady and the
Everyone
Tank.
says that, but it's for us like
Part
it's
1.
perfect. So don't.
Oh yeah. Saul's character is one of the smoothest characters. His
kidding
voice
me?
is like butter. Your voice is butter, man.
Written by Casey Whalen.
Him and Bert, I
Right.
say, are the two top
Graham's
characters.
going to the top of my Christmas list. You can't forget. I really don't see the point in writing any of this down. Who's the guy that does the intro? Michael.
Michael
You're
Swan.
reading this?
Michael Swan.
I just want you to know that I think it's
That's not
pointless.
right. That's really cool.
But what do
Michael
I know?
Scarn is from Office.
And if I turn into one of them because you
I
sent
love
me
that
out here,
show.
then your ass is lunch.
So you are the
We left
first
the tower
new
this
narrator.
Yeah.
We
Wait,
headed
was it
north for
Angel?
the first time since
No.
No, he
Yeah.
never
You.
ended.
Oh, wow.
The road is flooded with cars and bodies. Bert found lots of shell casing and remains of what he says was one hell of a firefight.
One hell of a firefight.
Lizzie thought there might be other survivors out there, like us, trying to make it out here. Less than an hour later, we found what was left of them.
So you say first as if there's going to be more non-Michael
This troy's
narrators.
empty.
So
Check the back
I'm
car.
excited to see what like a
one
Lizzie
in that
narrated character show
Ah,
comes up, or
Damn it.
or even
We
like a
found other
Kelly
survivors.
narrated one now that
you're right.
she's the new
I think
villain
it is
almost.
them.
Kinda.
Was.
Maybe.
The convoy was just heavily armed and they were overrun.
Then where are all the bodies?
If you like listen close
I
to
don't
here,
know.
like the rain goes from like
There are a few
dropping
pieces
on
here
the
and there.
car to all over the
These
place.
definitely
It was the
were
first way to
normals.
really like add tension
sad.
in the background with the rain.
Well,
Oh,
so
yeah.
might as well gather
There's
up
so
what
much
they had
tension
left.
across all three of these
This sucks.
episodes. It's like you can hear it, but also like the Foley work is kind
It
of
was a
cool.
group of 3 or 4 cars.
Is it Foley or is this hard
Modified
sounds?
for
Like are these
scavenging
is this
supplies, much like
a
we
hard
do.
effect?
There's
Or-
a lot of
If a
hard
group of
effects in
their
here,
size
actually.
was this
Okay,
big,
so you didn't just get a microphone
they
on the
could
rain and be like, there's a couple points where
Beginning
you're
to
like,
worry about
you
us.
open a door and the volume of the rain goes up. I'm like, that's a neat effect.
Gather
I like
up
that
all
you
the
did
ammo
that.
and
But I
guns you
couldn't
can
tell if it was
find.
like fully recorded
Leave
live
the
on the
big
spot
stuff.
or if it was recorded
That
for
little
effect.
peon we're
So
A
driving.
lot of that sounded like
It won't have
part
much
of it,
room.
where you kind of like
How many
dip-
people do you
dip it
think this
down
was?
and thing.
I dig it.
Maybe 10 or so. Hard to tell from what's left.
Did they drag off the bodies or what?
Well, there'd be a trail. But it's raining, so who knows where they went.
You would think a group this well armed would have been able to get out of this. They armored their cars up better than ours.
Again, you're not making me feel any better.
All right,
Brian, would you
That's
pause
it.
2 seconds?
come on, let's
Something I was gonna say in here with the rain. It's one of the first times we've actually been able to like interact with the characters and the environment in a really direct way.
Yeah.
Like it I think it really having the rain changed the scene a bit. Like you had to like constantly talk over it and you go in and out of vehicles and yeah, it just made it really complicated.
Well, I don't remember. We didn't have any. You didn't have all that stuff in it when we did it. You're just
No.
directing us to talk a little louder. You're like, there's rain, there's this, there's that.
Yeah, it was very much like you just had to go over it all. And actually, this is honestly also the first episode with you reading with Blair as Lizzie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because she before it was the other
What's her
actress.
name? Gigi.
Yeah, Gigi, and then
right.
yeah, so she wasn't able to make it to this one, so Blair filled in like last minute, and she became
killed
the
it.
role. Yeah.
Yeah.
She killed it.
Like it just worked out organically, and it's like, at this point with your interaction with her, there would have been no way to replace her.
No.
Yeah, I've said before how much I enjoy Blair's performance as Lizzie, and I think she's
I
fantastic.
really
so.
enjoyed Casey giving Blair direction. That was always the best part.
Or
Of the
attempting
recordings.
to.
Well, it was always like, like an eggshell sort of thing, It's like, all right, how's she gonna react to this? It was a movie within a movie. Let me just tell you guys.
Oh
that.
man, you should have seen when we had Blair in
Please
here.
tell
as
me
the-
more about that. let us no. No, that's it's true. It is hard to direct your significant other.
And you guys have that relationship where you're kind of like you're not fighting, but it seems like you're fighting, kind of thing. So like even when we were doing the podcast, I was sitting back here and going, what's going on? And like you're being very quiet. I'm like, mommy and daddy are fighting. What's going on?
Well, it's kind of that, but it's also kind of like smart people fighting.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, no, it's super
Smart
intelligent.
people fighting, you don't really have to say all the words you need to say. You just,
Subtextual.
Small little biting words, real quick.
Yep, jabs.
That's kind of true.
Wow.
That is kind of true. It is hard to talk over this episode because of the rain, I'm realizing.
Yeah.
Like, it is so masking to what we're talking about. It's like, it's going to be complicated.
Yeah.
Turn down the Mac volume.
Oh, we could turn it down a little bit.
Just a little, though.
Just a little bit. Hey, baby. Just a little bit.
You know what? Just leave it. I say just leave it because it's already been balanced. So if we change it now,
By the
it's
way,
going to be.
we started the episode and didn't like introduce anybody or
yeah.
like do a whole thing. I just want you to know that
My board is not updated with
we might have to like edit in our intro. Like,
that's okay. We got Nate here.
You know
We're
why?
just doing it on the cuff.
You know why I noticed that? Because I didn't get a chance to say hi. I'm Graham, the avatar of the people yet. I haven't done that. It's been 2 whole episodes.
Everyone else has.
Thank you.
Well, you've just done it.
I just did.
We said the name, and
This is Nate G's.
Nate G's.
AKA Saul.
Plays Saul.
Brian in the back right here.
Yeah, Brian Lincoln is on our editing bay, and we have Shanti up front in the mysterious spot. There's a little hand there. Here you go.
And then Casey Whalen.
Hello.
All right. Okay, now you've appeased me. Let's go back to the episode.
Let's jump back in. There's a really interesting portion in here where there's an odd feeling of luck that this. Just thinking about the context of this scene, because this actual like who they're discovering and who they're finding here is actually a big component to the story. It plays into something later on.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that like these people were completely prepared, but yet they were just very unfortunate. And this was like the weird component where luck is actually a very strong, piece of combat. Sometimes it's just a matter of luck of being in the right place, wrong time.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait till we get to the big reveal.
That's the thing that always made me like, man, if ever I had to go to war, I would be that unlucky dude. Like, I would step on the mortar. I'm like, man, I just don't trust my luck enough. Even if I was all the way behind the front line, they would still find a way to just get me first.
I have a weird story about that, actually. I was on a road that we were going down, and we hit some conflict, but then we pushed through it and we were fine. Turns out, like, a minute or 2 later, an IED went off right where we went by.
Whoa.
What?
So, and it took out a tank. So it was like, there would have been no survival for me at that point. So it's like one of those things where it's like just a minute or, 2 minutes difference could make all the volume in the world of, your world ending or not going on.
That's why I respect those that serve our country, because I could never do it myself. So you guys, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for everything you did. But I would be with you. I would be the guy that would be like, "What's going on, guys?" Pop, IED dead.
It's one of those things. It is like if anybody plays Fallout in that little luck category, it's something about combat is very luck based. Kind of weird. So.
Yeah.
All right, rolling.
All right,
roll.
That's it. Come on, let's get out of the rain.
I also love the music in this episode. It's very like.
Yeah, I have that as a note. I have that on my paper in that this is the first episode that I really noticed that the music is not just an underscore, but it actually supports the narrative and supports the action specifically in the third, which we'll get to, and I'll point it out when we get there. Hopefully I have the notes. But there's this part where the action amps and the music ramped right behind it, and you're like, that's new and neat. I like that a lot. You do that a couple times this episode. Is this the first time you really tried doing stuff like that with this, or was it?
Maybe it wasn't when they drove.
It kind of the episode lended itself to it.
What?
Okay.
Like this was one of the first episodes where like we got to do some relationship stuff. That was deep into it. And Saul's leitmotif is very guitar based because he's a solo kind of guy. So we'll hear his guitar
those of
later.
You with a doctorate, please raise your hand.
Which is kind of fun.
Listen, boys, you keep saying that they can't do these things, but what if they can? Maybe not all of them, but maybe some.
Damn, Lizzie was just taking charge. Even
You
back
said
then,
that some were
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
Just figuring it all out
What
real
if there
quickly.
are some that were smart enough to make a trap?
Yeah, Saul and Bert are very dismissive of her just
You'd be
because
in
she's a
some
woman,
serious
and
shit if
she's
that
like,
was
"Nah,
true.
I'm having that. I have a doctorate.
Alrighty,
You guys have a
miss.
doctorate?
I'm
No?
with you.
Okay."
How and why do you
Just shut us
suppose
up
they
right
sprung
away.
this little ambush?
Well,
The
know,
other component in this too, why
'cause they're
the
hungry.
scene is set up this way,
Would you grow up
is
a little already, please?
I tried to put as much exposition in here as possible
The
and
only way they
explain what
could have
happened in
moved
this
the car is if
ambush
they
in the
drove
most
it.
creative way. Like, how can I
When
get
they
you
got
to
close,
visually
one
see
of
what
them
happened?
moved it into position.
So Lizzie is actually
you've
meant
got
to
the
be
book
like a
smart stuff.
catalyst of like
But I think
that
you're giving those
mystery
things
of
a little
unraveling
too
it
much
and you
credit.
seeing what happened,
It's the
you know,
only
with
thing
one
that makes
person.
sense.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and also the other two doubting
I
her and
will
the things she
bet you
says, and
that is
even
what
going
happened.
into like the bet that's coming up here. It's like if
A
if
bet,
they just
huh?
go with it,
Well, I'm all
then
ears,
she has no
darling.
reason for her to keep
What should
talking
we
and doing the
wager? I mean,
exposition. But because
what do you
they keep
want to
Saul and
lose?
Bert
'Cause
keep
I'd like to
like
see you
denying
do
what
this.
she's saying, she has to
got a few ideas
explain
to prove
deeper in
I'm
order to
right,
get them to
so
see
what do you
what they
wanna bet?
want. And
Is
that
this
gives you a
really
secret out to the
necessary?
exposition,
Hold on,
like if you're doing the
Gramps.
storytelling.
I don't
So
think you know what this
I
could be.
noticed that, Casey. Don't worry, I didn't miss
How
it.
about we write it down, and whoever wins,
I also like the idea of a
we do
secret bet
whatever it
instead of
says on the
like,
paper.
if you do this, I
So,
do this, but they just
you don't
write
know
it down
what
on
I'm
the
betting
paper.
either.
Yeah, because I think
Okay.
everyone's assumption
I'm
had
game.
solved at this point, and this actually
Keep it
I'm playing
interesting,
the
right?
bet with the audience in a way.
The
It's
state.
like I don't want them to know who you really are.
I'll hold on
I
to
want
mine.
to deceive them just like you do them. It's fun.
All right, out with it, Missy. How do you know they moved that car?
Come on, I'll show you.
Right there, the rain on
That one.
on the shoulders
This
kind
had
of
better
thing.
be good.
Oh, if only you knew what I bet.
Here, take a look. Bullet holes in the windshield aimed at the driver.
You're gonna have to go
What's
into
that?
like more.
That don't mean anything.
Clever J
Is that all you
I've
got?
missed Graham's
Someone
feminist
could have been hiding
analysis.
behind the
Yeah,
car.
I am. You know what?
Maybe,
I
maybe
am.
not. Does look like it from the hole.
I'm speaking for,
They also shot
for
out
the guys
tires.
that should be speaking for
So
the
far, I'd say
with
Lizzie
the
might
ladies.
be right.
You know?
What else you got?
Not for.
Come on, Gunny. you
Each
can't be
moment here
serious.
that they're saying
All right,
something is just
look,
more
The
exposition.
keys are still inside.
Keys still
and
inside?
In the ignition.
In the ignition? Like it's
Most
just
of the cars
this
out
would be
here are
so
like
fucking
that.
boring if a
That
narrator
don't
told
mean
you.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how about this? Those things, they have a pretty distinct smell, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Shit. They smell like shit.
Okay, if I open this door and it smells like
They do defecate.
we can pretty much know that
We
one
know
was
that
in
now
here.
from this line.
And it's the only reason it would smell like them.
Then she would.
But
win
it's a
the bet.
unique defecation.
That fair, Saul?
Well, it's sporadic. Well, not sporadic. it's-
All right.
They don't poop as much.
I can go for that.
Wait, zombies poop?
Okay, go ahead and pause.
one
I know we have
Whoa, 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 whoa. I feel like I'm learning something new about this world. Zombies poop?
Yes, they do. They defecate. They're fully functioning biological systems, meaning they have an input, which is usually people or something of that nature, and then the output would be, something else.
Yeah.
No longer people.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually.
wait, is there poop like zombie poop? Like I don't get like.
It's more. Put it like this. It's harder.
So
Because
it's like stones.
sort of. Yeah. It's
Stones and bones, man.
Their
Stones and
digestive
bones.
systems actually extract more. So what their poop is actually harder than humans now. I don't know why this is so weird to like tell everyone.
Well, okay,
This is
so
awesome.
I need to know.
This
Did you?
is awesome. Like I want to watch one of those like Discovery biology shows where they do like autopsy stuff. But on like like a zombie version of that. That would be awesome.
who,
That's
who would be in
actually,
charge of it?
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a spoiler?
No, you didn't
I
hear-
will
yeah.
type
I didn't hear
in
anything.
what
Good.
he said in the chat, everyone.
There you
That's
go.
actually a fan question. Is after they defecate,
Yes.
can they not clean themselves? Do they not choose to clean themselves after?
I mean,
Does a bear?
I guess. I mean,
Yes.
well, yeah.
yeah, bears do.
Animals do.
They have Charmin. Didn't you read the commercials?
I thought it was a rabbit. I thought it was a rabbit.
A rabbit. Get over here, rabbit.
Yeah, but it's the Eddie Murphy joke where the bear asks the rabbit in the woods, does
Is that from
the
Raw?
shit
I
stick
think
to your
that's from
fur? And the
Raw.
rabbit goes, no. So the bear wiped his ass with the rabbit.
Oh.
But no,
Is
yeah.
that what is that what infected do?
I'll put it this way. I'm sure, because there are some infected that actually change their clothes too. So if there was an infected that was smart enough to change their clothes, I think they would clean up themselves. But some of them, like this one, did not. So there are some that are sloppy and then some that are a little more.
I've never really felt the the sell of being a zombie to the fact that I would never have to buy toilet paper again. Like, it just sounds so amazing. That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Toilet paper
you
is
poop
expensive.
less.
That's
'cause
expensive
Their
stuff.
digestive systems are a lot more concentrated, so it like spends longer time pulling out all the
I
nutrients.
love where John just can't stop laughing.
I'm just watching the reaction.
Because no one expected this episode to go this
No, no, and it's not that
It's-
shitty of a
it's-
conversation. You know.
It is that shitty of a what you did there, what he did there. Did you so did you actually sit down and think, I wonder how if zombies poop or not, like over like a night, just to try to figure it out, or is that like known things from the zombie universe from other properties that you may have like borrowed, or is this a Casey Wayland original?
I don't know if they've ever covered these in other stories, but one of the things that I like to do is set up the rules of the world, and the zombies have their own set of rules and their own biological systems, and the more you know about how they work and interact with each other, the more you can do stuff with it. So it's like it's one of those things where pooping may not have been like a really complicated thing to think about, but it's essential to know through the conservation of energy, like how they ingest and how they how they process all this stuff into energy. Like a behemoth, there's a specific scene in Lockdown, and this is way in advance, where they needed to ingest something in order to change slightly. So it was very crucial to have the science right.
Gotcha.
Jordy Shepard says, this is a level of world building I wasn't prepared for.
Yes.
We are thorough.
Yeah, it's something. It's that's the fun part is like sometimes you make stuff up and write stuff down that you never will ever use, but you just have to know for yourself. And
Because one day it'll come up on an archive show.
It sometimes will, and that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. So that smell where they're saying like it smells like shit, it literally is poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there is differences. You noted there's differences in zombie poop versus like
Human.
or other type of poop.
Yes.
That we'll come across later.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you saying.
Let's carry on.
All right.
Bastard in here.
Yes! Oh yes, in your face, and a pimp goes down.
Yeah, whatever. I see how it is.
You want to read my bet now, or should I read what you don't get?
I hate to rain on your fun and all.
Rain.
But do you realize what this shit means?
Yeah. It means I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Some of these things are intelligent enough to trick us. I'm a good shot when they're just running blindly at you, but this, I just don't know about this.
Does the Bert, the actor plays Bert, always talk with that Batman
ahead.
voice, like in real life, or is that just
No.
a voice he puts on like for the show?
That's his only voice.
This would just take a sec.
The only one who has a voice.
I'm
That
drawing a
would be
picture.
pretty
Michael
gnarly
did this
though if
shit.
that was his like everyday
Very
voice.
risky making
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Could you imagine him
only imagine
ordering
what kind of
takeout?
I got a burger, large fries, a Coke.
Actually, can we pause? I want to hear him. I want to hear what it would sound like from Bert and Takeout. Do you want to try?
I do a horrible. No, there's no way I could do it. Can you do it?
Can I get a large fries, a cup of Coke, and maybe some tacos? What do you mean you don't have tacos? This is an establishment of food, isn't it? Give me some tacos. That's like dipping into Rick and Morty. Hey, Morty.
Morty, we need this right away, Morty.
That sounds like Beavis. We've gotten three.
Scott was always money with that, like never off
Yeah.
with the voice.
Yeah.
Never once, man.
He trained himself, I think, after a while, and kind of like he got in the mode of it. When he first started out, you got a little New York in there, I remember.
Yeah.
But then after a while, that kind of like it evened out, and yeah, that's the thing about like voices. You kind of, no matter what cartoon you listen to, they always are a little different in the beginning than they are in the second season.
The
They
Homer
just-
Simpson syndrome, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to get used to it after a while. So.
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
we can move on. I just want to have that little aside.
I just wanted to sketch the layout for Michael.
Bert,
Yeah,
how good of a shot are you?
Oh,
really good.
we have a new first appearance.
Just a wee
What?
bit better
Shut
than
up,
me.
Saul. Bert, don't turn around. We're being watched.
What?
I
Wait,
said don't move.
a first appearance.
Where is he?
What?
Or it?
What?
Yeah, he's one of
I
them.
mean, I just thought it was like a
Something's different about that one.
Mm-hmm.
He's behind you on the rooftop of
This
the
is the
diner.
different one.
You remember where that's at?
Behind me to my left. How
Just
far
standing
off?
up there watching them right
Same
now.
distance
As
between you
creepy as that
and
is.
that fire hydrant to my right.
Okay, so about 100 meters.
You can hit him? You sure?
it's interesting too because Lizzie just set up the exact scenario of what you're seeing, which is the relativity of the scene.
Yeah.
Once you fire,
I saw it. in
then
my
I
head.
will.
I actually am like, I really like this as an example for
After
people
we
who are
shoot,
writing audio dramas as
under
like
the
a way of
car.
hiding exposition.
Or hear us nearby.
No shit.
It's a good example for that.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
He moved.
So
Shit.
that zombie moved.
Hurry!
Just one thing. That zombie moved before 3 happened.
Yep.
So that zombie knew that they
anticipated
were
the action.
counting. Yeah.
He anticipated the action, or he could understand what they're saying.
Which is what I'm thinking. So I actually wrote down that there are 3 different. I had that there are 3 different types of zombies, but now I'm thinking there's a 4th different type of zombie, because I had smart, runners, and basic. Is what I have as my 3 basic ones.
Those are good names.
Basic.
Basic are just like your run-of-the-mill zombies. So you're telling
Dude,
me
that
this.
fighter is so basic.
So there's smart zombies, and then this one is an additional smarter zombie than the smart zombies, because we know smart zombies are like the colonel in the first episode, like when the base stuff like that, where like they have mental faculties still. This guy is or I don't know. Maybe,
Correct. We have a nickname for him later on that will come and play. That is 3 letters. If you want to type it into the.
Okay. Is it
into the chat
one?
window.
Is it? Were there multiple of this type? Is this a type of zombie, or is this a person, a specific person zombie?
This is. I'll just tell you this. This is a very specific one, and that's why I said it was a first appearance. So I'll
Okay,
give you
that's
that.
why. That's the only reason I'm asking these questions.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
The only reason I'm thinking about it is like, oh my God, that's significant enough to warrant the fact that this is the first time this shows up. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
It's action and reaction, and also right here it confirms that this one has the ability to call others.
Yeah, the call, which is the same call that we heard from.
So we've already heard this call. So in a way, we're hearing a confirmation that this could have been the one from before.
So it may not be the first time.
It may not have been the first call. They're. I will say this much: there are others that do have the ability to call, but there's one in particular that can do it the best.
Okay. Well, I wait with bated breath to find out who this is.
You want to bet that was a smart one?
That was a hybrid noise, if you're wondering. The keys were in the ignition.
Yeah.
I had to
Got a
record
couple
Blair's Prius for this.
Keep
There were no hybrids and
Faster,
soundtracks
Saul.
libraries
I'm
at this
flooring
time.
it. Hold on. Turn coming.
We got a few on our tail still. Hold the car still.
I'm sorry. You want me to slow it down, Gramps? I thought you wanted me to get us the fuck out of here. I can only go so fast with this maze of shit.
We're catching up.
We're going 60.
These ones are fast. Give me your rifle.
You want me to try?
I'd rather save the rounds. I'd rather you not waste them.
Again,
I stand corrected, miss.
Bert dismissing Lizzie specifically because she's a woman.
Stop it.
Like, I don't want to waste
Someone's
the
calling
ammo
back.
on you. That's what he says.
Yeah,
If
true.
if Saul says, "I'll give you that gun, I want to shoot it,"
Die.
Bert would like, "Yeah, here's the
I
gun."
don't have all the
This is
answers.
specific.
Well,
I mean,
For a sec there, bro.
Yeah, go pause a second.
You were
Right.
real smart.
He is military.
Yeah.
It's true.
And we're talking about also the rifle specifically that she has at this time is it's an M16A2. So they're 5.56 rounds, and those rounds are hard to come by in the colony. So they don't have a lot of them, and so that's why they're trying to conserve the ammo. But he wasn't there when he realized that Lizzie is still a good shot.
Yeah, and we knew that Lizzie was a good shot from before.
The tower, yes.
We learned at the tower that Lizzie is a good shot, and we
Yeah.
also learned
I
from
heard it, but-
before the tower that that Angel doesn't think Saul is a good shot.
Yeah.
Angel doesn't think your character is a good shot at all. In fact, he dismisses him multiple times, which has been disproven in the show already twice.
Yeah. Angel's not that right.
Yeah, no, Angel's not great.
Brian, what do you have? Do you have any comments so far about the sound design or session or been quiet a little bit? Didn't know if you had any.
Well, partly because when I put these headphones on, they're noise canceling, so I have no idea.
He's listening to Enya back there. Sail away, sail away.
No, I mean I'm enjoying it. I think it's impressive how detailed the sound design was, even at the beginning. I know where it ends up, and if I had to guess, I would have thought it was more sparse than it is. So it's pretty cool to listen back and hear this.
Yeah, this is definitely. I think this is one of our thickest sound designs in terms of like just because the rain is like really over encumbering on most of it.
Yeah, I mean I can switch the laptop for a second and show kind of.
Oh yeah, cool.
Wait, what color am I? Oh, I'm
can
yellow.
see-
Oh
all
yeah.
this
Oh, you want
stuff.
to see? Go so go up.
Yeah.
So
Saul's
Saul.
yellow.
Look at
yeah.
that peaking, man. Woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. So
So you get a sense. I mean, you can see kind of when the action hits because you just kind of see. This
Yeah, it's
mess
on
of
the,
stuff
the
going
thick
on right
blocks.
here.
Like there's the footsteps, the bear.
yeah.
So they're right there in the middle. You can see the bear footsteps running. That's the runners going through there.
At 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, and
Or-
actually, I will say the barefoot running. If I was to critique myself, if their stride is that fast, I don't know. The pacing seemed a little bit slow, but you know, if they're running 40, but they're technically running about 40 to 45. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems
Which
a
is
little...
faster than, that's like cheetah speed.
Yeah, that's faster than cheetah speed.
Faster than cheetah speed for things that are essentially dead humans.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, no, they're not dead at all.
I mean, you know what I mean, but their corporeal bodies came from people that could not have run 40 to 50 miles an hour.
No, but I will say that the runners themselves might have had some properties in life that they carried on with them after infection, which gave them unique traits to be faster like this. So, so whatever you are in life, you are in death.
Got it. Only enhanced.
Yeah. So these runners, you can imagine, are very athletic.
So basically, we don't want the Albert Einstein zombie.
No.
No.
Cause he,
Or do we get one?
That's what I'm thinking already.
That would be kind of sucky.
Yeah, it's playing with fire. It's the enhancements of the worst of the worst. So, and that plays that goes into play in a lot of different stuff later on in the story. So, Graham, get ready.
I'm
Buckle
ready.
up.
I'm ready. I'm excited because tomorrow I get to listen to episode 6.
Oh yeah.
as soon as we record this, is my green light to listen to the next one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I have a reverse question.
Oh yeah.
So take a really good philanthropist, potentially Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
Would
Sure.
an infected Bill Gates be just the nicest infected person?
Giving out money left and right.
The question it seems to be asking: are there any infected that do not attack? And the answer is yes. There are some that
There's
are
vegetarian zombies, is what he's
there.
saying.
There are more pacifists.
Wow.
We have not encountered one yet in the series.
They get bullied by the other
They get
ones.
bullied by the other one.
Yeah.
That's
It's
actually
hard not to eat human. All right, you're a zombie. All right.
very stringy. Very stringy. It's just not, they just don't like them. You know, they're picky eaters.
Okay, I won't distract you.
No, I like that one.
This is what we're
Sounds
doing.
like a good sideshow. though. Have a whole season of just pacifist zombie wandering around.
Just blew their minds.
That there can be ones that are non-aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rare. It's very, very rare. But in the spectrum of what is possible, it's out there.
Nice.
Yeah, they're having fun now. All right, let's roll.
My pet said that you can't call me that anymore.
Oh, is that all?
Whoa.
Then I'll just come up with another nickname.
I was also going to state
Why
that
don't
for
we
people
just
who are
see what your
creating
pet
audio
said?
dramas, 3
Hey,
people is
hey,
a
hey, give
very
me
good
that.
balance.
Let's share with
Yeah.
Bert what
For a
you've
scene.
written on
It's
your
not
little
too
piece
many,
of
not too
paper
little,
here.
and you know exactly who's
I'm
speaking at
sure
what
I
time.
don't want to know.
Hey, that wasn't part of the rules. Give me that back.
Why not? I think I'm entitled to know what kind of sick
Yeah.
thing you wanted done to you.
2 is always good.
What?
At that third,
Is it horrible?
It's sort of like a
Can't be
Balance.
that bad.
Yeah.
cool
He's not
dynamic.
that creative.
It's like a
How
talk
we
show
now?
with 3 people. You know,
Well-
one person can take a break.
Maybe we can still do this.
You two are sick.
No, not that. Take a look.
Bert just assumes
Just
everything.
make it worse.
So I want to say
wanna
at this point,
what?
this scene is like 5 minutes
Can't read your
long, and they're
writing.
just in a car.
My house isn't far
And the
from
sound
here.
design is actually
I
still
bet that we
consistent
would
of
go back there,
trying to
pick
give
up my
stuff
girl.
in action as they go.
Oh, this is the payoff of
I gotta
Saul's
keep up my
girl.
reputation,
Yeah.
don't I?
This is where like,
Thanks
why
for
is he hitting on
involving
Lizzie
me
so
in
hard
that
when he's got a girl
asking.
back at his house? That's the question we asked like a couple of things ago.
Yeah, and you're like, you thought he was an asshole.
I thought I did. I was like, oh man, what a jerk. How dare he? And now
It's when casting came true to life.
How far is it from here?
A couple miles.
this
towards the
actually
suburbs.
this part right here is what really turned me
I see no
on
problem
my head in
in
terms of
making a
Saul's
little
character.
I thought you were gonna say.
No,
turn me
there's
on
not much
towards
more,
the-
is there?
Turn me on, yeah.
I was waiting for it.
See,
Yeah.
this is why I
No,
didn't
like,
like
'cause
that
Most of our
shit.
fans, honestly.
Because Saul,
I know my girls.
you
are
know,
right.
is
She's
you
got
just
it.
kind of assume that he's
Chances
one
are
way, and then for
she's
the
not.
veer left like this.
Maybe the hope of her
Uh,
making it out.
And I don't want to say it yet
surviving
because we haven't
is
said
better
on the
than
show
knowing
yet
you
what your
Believe
girl
me.
is, but like it's like, oh man,
figured
that's
you'd all say that.
what I had. What
That's
I
why
thought about
made
this
it
character
back.
was way
You're all
wrong.
just like
Was
Mike.
way wrong.
I'll keep pausing for a second.
You have anything else?
There's a line in here I really want to punch in. It was right there. Keep on going, Graham. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying like this whole section changed what I thought about Saul 100%. That's just like everything that I thought, everything I had voiced in the previous 4 episodes, well 3, and then my thoughts on 4.
What were your thoughts here?
On
That Saul's here.
Dude, well, not yeah. I'm separating the character from the acting, man. You're a good
Method, man, a method.
No, but I really thought Saul was a horn dog and was an awful person because he was horrible to to women and horrible things. But like that's not the case at all.
No,
that's not like he's really not. He's really actually a caring person, and he gets to show this finally in this section. He's a secret. I have a secret softie here. Is what I have written down, and it's like I mean, someone in the military.
Yeah, there's a side you show to the military and a side you don't show the military.
Right. Like you wouldn't go around saying, "Oh, this isn't my heart." Maybe you would. I don't know. But this is something that's like cool. This is the character development that I wanted to see. Also, we haven't got that far yet, but I will talk about something in a second. But
there's a line right here that Saul says. Can we play that line?
Do you want me to back up? Or?
Just a tiny bit, just maybe like 5-10 seconds.
Right here.
Couple miles towards the suburbs.
He specifically.
Well, I see no
like,
problem
tells
in making
Bert
a little detour.
No, there's not much point, is there?
Listen, I'll come in.
I highly doubt she's alive.
See, this is why I didn't want you to read that shit. I know my girl's alright. She's gotta be.
Chances are
It's
she's
tactics.
not. Maybe the hope of her making it out.
How does Saul
surviving is
convince
better than you
Bert
knowing
to
she
get what he
didn't.
wants?
Believe me.
I figured you would all say that. That's why I made it a bet. You're all just like Michael.
Right there.
You have anything else at the house we may need?
Like what?
I love that 180.
That always
If someone asks why
was
you went
like
there, I want to give them a good excuse.
Oh,
well,
Bert.
especially not Bert at this time. Bert hated Michael at this time.
Yeah, no,
Bert
like
hated Michael.
yeah, and it was the
I got some
perfect
nice
way of
ones.
like getting what you want.
He like hated him.
It's
Not
a
since
really
the
good
white
way. Like if
guy.
you're a writer and you're thinking about like
But it's good enough for
tactics
me.
is how a character
But you
gets
still
something,
can't call me Blondie.
and this is how he uses
That's
tactics to his advantage.
I'll just come up with something better.
also, Middleton whiskey, is that a real whiskey?
Yes.
Okay.
Matter of fact, that is a
didn't feel
reference
bad making a
to
detour
Frosty,
off our
Heidi,
mission.
and Frank.
It was
Oh,
gonna take a
okay.
while
Because
for them to get that
Frosty
generator up
loved
and
Milton
running
whiskey,
anyway.
and
I had wondered what
I
happened
thought
to
it
my
was
girl for
special. I'm
long
not a
time.
whiskey fan, but I was like, cool. If
soon
it's
I would
supposed to be
find
like
out.
one of the best, I'm gonna put it in there.
Cool. I'm not a whiskey connoisseur, but
I wasn't either.
Which-
That's why I stole
Which
it.
one is it?
makes sense to me.
Up here on the right.
Oh, there's also no mid-roll
Hey,
in this episode.
It's
'cause
not
it's
that
too short.
bad.
Yeah.
I'm a single guy in LA. What do you expect?
There's no mid-roll in any of
This
these
is the
episodes.
Ritz compared to where
Right?
I live.
Ritz.
The Ritz?
That's Blair's.
How does she
for you,
not
Tom.
know? Oh, I mean,
Just
Blair
go
knows
with
the
it.
Ritz because that's her bit.
That's,
But,
that's actually why it's there.
yeah.
Just shit you don't need.
Do you know what the Ritz is?
So we can't go back to my
hotel?
apartment for
Yeah.
some of my
Yeah.
things too.
Yeah.
It's a
That'd be
weird
quick.
saying though.
I
So-
mean, it won't
Hey.
translate
You
to
said
the
he couldn't
millennials
say.
today. They'll be like
Say anything
crackers.
about me.
Yeah. Blair's favorite song and a longtime joke, and the
What does she
only
look
song
like
that
in
we
case
know that
she's
she
turning
knows is
Putting
"Putting
on
on
the
the
Ritz."
Ritz" by Taco.
She's kind of short, but she's quick.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Put on the
It's not
Ritz.
gonna really matter. I'm pretty good at this distance.
So I have to give someone else credit here for Lady.
Yeah.
Blair was the one who was like, oh, it should be like a dog or bird at the very beginning
Yeah.
to flip it for you. She came up with that idea.
That's an awesome
That changes
idea.
the whole character.
Yeah.
Like it changes the whole thing. But the fact that you
Ugh,
never
it
once
smells
say
like shit.
anything but
We
my
may be too
girl
late.
or Saul's
No,
girl or
it's literally
you
my
don't
lady.
say
Or
girlfriend.
I think he says my
not a
lady
bad sign.
once.
Yeah,
Wait,
but even
what?
that's not like a
Lady?
like a tip off
Yeah.
Lady.
at all.
Here, girl.
Lady?
Lady.
And Lady is his therapy dog too, if you notice.
Your dog?
Oh, I knew
Rescue
you'd be
dog, too.
okay. Did you miss me?
I think he says it
That's
here.
my girl. Did you get my message on the answer machine? I'm so sorry I took so long.
We came all this way for your dog.
She's a puggle, and she's my world, man. Don't
Ladies,
keep talking smack on her.
It's a dog.
You're as bad as Pegs with the cat.
Hey, this is totally different. When I got back from overseas,
Sadly,
I rescued
that
her.
dog is.
She's been like my
passed.
best friend for years.
Oh.
That was
That
Barkley,
and cats suck.
Yorkshire Terrier,
Hold it.
when we first
Oh,
started the
I don't
series
want
many,
to.
many
Oh,
years
okay.
ago. And he just passed
Where's
away
your liquor
last year.
cabinet?
Don't be jumping on the wagon, or is it off?
I just want to get it and get out of here.
Food dispensers
She's
are really good for your
filthy.
animals in the apocalypse.
How is she
Remember
okay
that?
here after all this
What's that?
time?
I haven't ordered a
dispensers?
food dispenser.
Yeah, that
As
was.
long
I
as
had that
nothing
as good
got
coverage.
in, I knew she'd be okay.
Food dispensers, is that a thing?
Try convincing
yeah, I have
the
one in my
ranger
cat.
to come back and get
For
it.
for dogs though,
Yeah,
because
that was
dogs
a
eat
good
pretty
one.
rapidly. Like they go through
Here, I
food.
thought
Like
you
if
were
you're
a
not
huge
there for like
asshole.
3 weeks, they're gonna munch
Maybe
through that.
you're just a
food,
little-
No,
right?
my dogs would always.
Nothing about me.
If you
is
train
little.
them to do it and you just have food available,
go,
it
ruining
doesn't
it.
become the case.
Huh.
Like Brownie was like that.
Anything else you need?
Got
Just
it.
ate
There
when you
ain't
wanted to
nothing
eat.
here that we can't get elsewhere.
It's pretty cool.
Then I say we head out. We got a lot of ground to cover, and I don't want to get
And also,
there
yeah,
at
Saul's
nightfall.
right. Cats. I'm not
Lizzie.
right. Sorry.
You mind grabbing that bag of food there? I'm gonna get
You're
her
just
leash.
a little bit meaner.
Except your cat.
Taking
Except
her with
Steve.
us?
That cat's
She's
dope.
well
I
trained.
do have a new cat.
She's not gonna bark or nothing as long
I
as
like.
tell her.
I like. I like.
I'm
Steve
glad
say
you
so.
made saw a dog.
I almost got
breed,
her.
though.
Yeah.
That's a good
Too.
choice.
You wanna see?
That fits
It makes
with
more
me.
sense for
I
your
believe
character.
you.
Out, yeah.
Let's get
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah, for sure.
All these houses. I don't
Outside
want
the
A
world
bird
of
dude
the-
would not have worked.
No, no, no.
I mean, parrots are pretty gnarly, and that would have added a different dimension to it.
It would.
but, like,
You can't cuddle a bird.
I could care
There's
less
no,
what happens.
there's no
now.
such thing as a therapy bird, really. I mean,
I
maybe,
felt
but
kind of bad for
I mean, if
everyone
you were
else who had
awesome, you
someone
could make a bird
lost.
do that. But
I mean, if you were like
I had no
Falconer.
idea.
You were
Mad at
Falconer
you.
right there.
I was right so far.
oh,
I mean, lady was
Oh,
good.
is this the guitar?
My mom's a tough bird. I'm sure she's
This
alright.
is awesome.
my mom's a tough bird. So this is not to spoil anything for Graham a little bit, but it is some foreshadowing in terms of his relationship with his mom, and also your relationship with Lady kind of reflects a little bit about your relationship with your mom in some ways.
Yeah, I did. That was definitely.
Join us
Yeah,
again
you
Monday
definitely
for the
see
next
that
episode of We're
throughout the
Alive.
series.
Yeah, like it. That's the crazy thing is like, that relationship was
Now,
way
a word from our
thought so far in
sponsors.
advance because it was an essential part of like.
And
You.
you start to see some of like not to spoil it for Graham, but sort of some of the characteristics that Saul is attracted to
Mm-hmm.
in the females in the and in like I mean like in Lady, in Lizzie, in you know, future characters, but even stuff that he's not, like, you know. I just remember not really liking what was Tommy's aunt's name again?
Kelly.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
Yeah, it's just that's not your type of persona.
Yeah, it was just wasn't. Whereas like, you know, Lizzie wasn't necessarily, you know, the easiest one to get around. She definitely had like a
You like strong women.
strong, but not, you know, not mean.
Yeah, you like strong for the sake of being strong, not
Yeah.
strong to mask something else.
Yeah, you can see that. You can see that in the Saw character. And Lady was definitely like that. Obviously, she survived the zombie apocalypse. Fishing dog of all time.
Did that dog even know anything was going on though? Like that's out the
Probably
house?
not though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if it's Saul's dog, like she was probably like, yeah, I'm just gonna snack on some of my food. Bro. This looks interesting. These people are running from those people.
There you go.
Just looking out the window, just like.
Haven't seen that mailman in a while. Where's the bark at?
I would imagine actually at that point, Lady probably had gotten really upset and bored. Like, cause I mean, if you hear nothing after a while, maybe the dog would kind of go a little bit obsessive.
Well, also,
but-
dogs don't have object permanence, so if Saul's not there for like 2 or 3 months, you know,
Yeah.
does that dog even remember that Saul is a thing in the world?
At this point, it's been what, like a couple days, I think, is where we at in the timeline in terms of.
So it's still relatively.
Yeah, it's still relatively new, so we haven't gotten too far out at least, and that was the important part, is making sure we get to Lady before it was too
Wait,
late.
we're only a couple of days from
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it hasn't
that
even
point.
been fully a week, right?
It's just about that. Yeah.
Is Bill still upstairs?
No,
No,
Bill's been taken care of, but it has been a couple days. I know that much.
Oh, okay.
It might be about 5 days.
I feel like they've got a lot done in that 5 days. Then.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, I guess so. But
No, you know
All
what?
that without, like, you know, Google Calendar.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do when the apocalypse is at your back.
Well, it's like when you don't have anything else to do but survive. I mean, you focus on the stuff
And
you
none
need
of these
to.
people had iPhones. It didn't exist at that point.
No, they did.
Did they?
iPhones did exist because I specifically wrote the aspect in them in something later on when they had a smartphone. So smartphones did exist.
Smartphones
thankfully.
did, but iPhones maybe. Well, I guess
No, they did.
they did, but they weren't as prevalent as they are.
I think the 4 was out in 2009.
Oh.
Maybe. I have to look. Maybe it's not the 4. Maybe it's the.
2008 was the
The
first
first one came out in 2007. I was one of the goofy people
You got the
in
1.
line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was one of the and they gave me.
You're right.
They gave me a, because we've spent $600 for it, and then
Mhm.
within a month they released it at $400 for the rest of it.
Yeah.
So they gave us all like $100 gift card.
Yeah.
Because I started working at
Being an
Apple
early
in
adopter.
2008, and we sold the iPhone 3GS, or 3G at that point.
Yes.
Yeah, in 2008.
That,
so it had to be
the 3G.
2007
was
had to be the time.
Yeah, the 3G was the model that I sort of based it off of because that was the first one that really like
the rounded back
did a better job with the phone.
I mean, when I worked at Fruit Stand, that is not a company
to claim the fame. So that is part 1 of chapter 5, which originally was written to be 2 parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only meant to be 2 parts, and this was like, oh, I'm gonna vary the format so much that we're not gonna do 3 episodes this one, we're only gonna do 2, and then it just worked out to where for some reason just like it was like borderline 2, 3, and I'm like, fine, we just have to do it, and it made it sense to divide it into 3 parts because there was no that division of the 2 parts. So. Cool. Well, that wraps up episode 1. Let's get to some. Excuse me. Well, that let me start that over.
10-4. Take 2. Action.
Take 2.
Marker.
Well, that wraps up episode 1 here of chapter 5. Let's get to some listener questions. Oh, those were great. I like those questions.
All
Awesome
right,
questions.
Yes.
As always, amazing stuff from the listeners. We will be back next time with even more archive for part 2 of chapter 5. So stay tuned. Welcome back.
Yay!
To chapter 5, part 2 of
We're laser beaming these
Lady
segments.
and the Tink. We're just gonna keep
So we
on
know what
rolling.
Lady is.
We know what Lady is finally. Do you want to do a bit? Yeah, are we all
Does
good?
anyone need one?
I don't even. I'm good.
Do you need one? I'm good. I think we can just keep going.
I'm fine.
Power through.
Maybe let's just power through. Maybe we'll take a break after the next one. And that way we don't have to. Oh, you know, let's stop
chunk.
recording. Let's do an end clap,
yeah.
and then we'll start the next one. Okay, ready?
Go for it.
All right, and stop. All right, stopping recording.
We're still on the live stream. Hello, live streamers.
Boop, boop, boop,
The
boop.
added bonus for people that are on Patreon and watching our live stream is that you get to see this part right here.
All right, you ready?
Me
to
doing
roll?
an elbow dance.
And
Elbow per Patreon dancers. Okay.
Go ahead.
You've got Nate G's doing an elbow dance.
Is it-
Only for our Patreon
It's rolling?
subscribers.
You see that? Is it the counter's rolling?
I don't even know if that's an actual thing, an
Sweet.
elbow dance. I just made it up for it.
Awesome. And start clap. Cool. All right, we are rolling. We're good to go.
Hey, we're back.
Welcome to We're Live Archive, Chapter 5, Part 2, with our guest, Nate G's. And as always, we have the avatar of the people, Graham Bechtel.
I love that you said that now.
With our, I know. What can I say? I love it
You were
now.
so against it, and now you're so for it.
I was like, you want a title like that's kind of so long.
I do want
I
to.
I
love
mean, it
it.
sounds like something The Rock would have said in his WWE days.
That's right.
I'm the avatar of the people. You know,
Gotta be a
It's
showman.
got a very The Rock feel to it.
I know. That's why I like it. I always liked The Rock.
I'm
Thank you.
impressed, man.
Someone else gave me that name, and I
5
stuck
months
with it.
later, it's okay.
And we have Brian Lincoln on the editing system back there, giving us tons of input on, the session backgrounds, and he has a whole bunch of cool little bloopers for us to get in there later.
And Casey Whalen, of course.
There's no bloopers.
Oh, no.
I was recording. Let's be honest here.
One take wonder every time.
Obviously.
Brian, do we have any really good bloopers where
I'm
Nate
sure
really
there's a
messes up?
lot of mistakes that I had. Oh, I know.
So let's just roll in. I guess we'll start. Oh, and I forgot, Shanti is behind the camera, our producer of We're Live Archive. And myself, I'm Casey Wayland, the writer-director of the show.
I want to say that this was around the time that we started to do like the whole 3-page switch. Because
Yeah,
that took
the
us
methods
a while.
got down much better
That
here.
took us a while to do.
3-page
'cause
switch?
Yeah.
So to record, we had these, the scripts.
Right.
And at first, you were just like turning each page, but each time you do that, you have to wait for everybody to turn. No one turns the page at the same goddamn
No.
time.
Right.
Like nobody.
And
did
then
that.
they
So-
get paged in my
yeah, we had pages,
mics.
we had to go back, and then I think it was because this was like the second or third recording that we did.
Oh, you know what? My son is coming through my laptop over
I
here.
heard that.
Let me fix
I
that.
just thought that was my stomach.
I heard it earlier. There it
I was
is.
like,
All right,
oh.
now it's turned off. There we go.
Oh, my
The
stomach's
baby
making,
monitor's still
My
going.
stomach's making baby noises.
Oh, no.
All right. Okay.
It's growing up so
Yeah,
fast, your stomach.
That's right. We did finally figure all that
Yeah,
out.
I'm pretty sure it was around that time because I remember thinking if I can remember correctly, it was working with Bert and Lizzie. I was like, well, working with Scott and Blair, I was like, wow, we're moving really fast. But I think it had a lot to do with the techniques that we were doing also in the recording.
We were getting better, like, because honestly, when we first started, nobody did this. Nobody does round robin recording sessions like this anymore in studios, and especially like they used to do them live, so they wouldn't do this sort of like if your page is on the mic, your page is on the mic forever.
Yeah.
So like they would like have whole bunches of stuff to try and prevent that, but yeah. So this was like a whole new experience for us of like how you make this thing work. And like, what did you think when you first came on to the recording studio? Like you have you done anything like this?
No. This was my only. This is most likely will be my only experience like this. I kind of want to keep this special for me.
Aww.
But yeah, I had no clue what I was getting myself into, which is usually a good sign. I mean, that's kind of how I live my life in general. Yeah, I was curious at how it was going to be produced and recorded. I didn't know that we were all going to be in the same. I thought that we were all going to be in like a booth one at a time. You were going to just record all the songs.
Like most cartoons.
Yeah, and then I would hear everyone else because I have done that before.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually have everybody there and interact, it was like a jam session. Like every time it was like a jam session, and because the actors were there, we were so much. At least the performances felt a little bit more authentic to me.
Oh yeah.
Not saying that the standard typical animated recording ways aren't
Yeah, there's no feedback. There's no reaction.
There's no moment to moment where is what you really really love as a performer. I mean, I don't know what it felt like to be the director, but to be able to get in there with Blair, with Scott, with Jim, with everybody, Claire, and just sort of bounce off of their energy. Is like a performer's dream. Yeah,
it's one of the reasons why like everyone talks about this medium like audio drama. I don't like that term. I call it audio theater, specifically what we do, because it is theatrical.
For sure.
It is the engagement. Like it is a stage that all the performers have to be in a present state. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. And that's why a lot of audio dramas I call dramas, because it is that, we record 6 different people and just put them together.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. That's what made the live show so dope, because the live shows were basically kind of like just a continual version of what we did when we recorded. So
yeah, we just couldn't mess up.
Again, there are no outtakes. Not for Saul. I'm throwing that out there.
None of.
Oh man, the live shows were so much fun. And honestly, I actually want to do more of them in the future. My dream is to one day have like a place in LA that literally like has shows weekly that people can come to and do stuff and like and really make theater for the mind like a real venue. That'd be really fun to do.
That is something that I will say. I was supremely impressed when I first heard the very first episode. Because even though we're recording it and you're telling me, yeah, it's gonna have this sound effect and it's gonna be like this, and I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm a little bit too ambitious about this, but like, I applaud your ambition. Like, yeah, I'm for you, man. I'm in it. But then when I heard it, I was like, oh no, like this is like a whole world. No, this is like really dope. Like, kudos to you and all that, all the people that were involved in terms of because the sound design is awesome. Even the music, when I'm listening to it now, because I've listened to the whole first season. It's been a while, but re-listening to, like Graham said, the music in itself, and I'm a big fan of score music. It sounds really, really on point.
It works. And the weird thing is a lot of this is samples. Like a lot of the first season is samples because we didn't have full-blown musicians. So what I did was I would find samples of pieces and start combining them together, put stuff here.
Wow.
A lot of the stuff is from some sound generation software, and some is mixes of previous stuff. So it's really quite she's getting more wine. It was just a lot of experimentation in the beginning, and honestly, I loved the actors being able to give me feedback because it was the organic process of figuring out what the hell we were doing. It is hard.
I feel like Jim was giving you feedback like all the time. Like I feel like you were just like, okay, let's let Jim do it again. I'm like not gonna answer the phone.
No, I love Jim. Like that. The great thing about Jim was when we had him on set, he was the Michael leader.
Oh yeah, he was.
Like he really like that was. It was his character on and offset a little bit, and like he's a very. He was just he was the adult of the group basically.
He's still the adult of the group.
Yeah. we're kind of kids, and Jim's like. Oh, I love him so much too. He's the best.
It was good to actually work with him because I had known Jim before We're Alive. So when I saw him there, I was like super stoked because I had always heard about him, and one of my acting mentors was a good friend of his, and spoke very highly of him. And the fact that I got a chance to work with him was really cool. So
yeah, no, it's awesome. We do miss him. He's down in Louisiana. We don't get to see him as much as we used to, but we do miss you, Jim. We do miss you. So rock on. Well, let's jump in here. I have some more stuff to bring in for part 3 to ask you before we begin. So we'll jump into there about your mysterious disappearance in mid-season 2.
Oh, we're in episode. We're in part 2, by the way, where we get to find out how right I was on the very first episode of this very archived podcast.
Okay, now I need to know why. So let's get this underway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm like, how is Graham right?
Oh, just you wait.
One thing we did do replace
We're
the theme
alive.
is
A
not the
story
original
of
theme here.
survival.
It's not.
No, this was the one that was
Chapter
made
5.
later on by Daniel Burkhoff Hopkins
Lady
for
and
We're
the
Alive,
Tink.
and I went back and put it in the original episodes because
Sounds very similar.
it is very
Part 2
similar.
of 3.
I wanted our signature to be throughout and consistent.
Written by
So it's one of those
Casey
things where
Witt.
it's like we had a
So-
better theme in season like 2 or 3, and then I brought it back.
You George Lucas the Star Wars.
Totally. I've
Yeah,
George,
you
I've
did
George
the
Lucas a
Cantina.
lot.
You did the Ewok celebration song over. You can't even get that original Ewok song. It's gone. It is completely wiped out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the original one from
the hell are we?
episode 6.
Hard to tell.
Yep.
I thought we'd be here.
Yep, that
Doesn't
was
look
gone.
like a few.
Wait, Yub Nub is gone?
Yeah. Because
What?
Maybe if you didn't
now
spend
it's
so
now
much
it's
time
something.
playing
I mean,
with
it
the
still
dog, you
has
would
that
know where we
sort
are
of
right now.
basis.
I've
But now
got the
it's
map
totally
right here, and I've been
more
following
airy,
along.
more.
What do you expect?
I
Do
would
you know
say
how many detours we've
Caribbean
had to
flavor
take?
than it
You were
was
supposed to
when it
mark
was
them on the
first
map,
done.
so
That's
we
a
would know
bummer.
the best way back.
I like Yub
I
Nub.
did. Mostly.
I want to note here,
Nice work, Bird.
we have maps in
I got
2009.
it.
If the
It's
apocalypse
all
happened
up in my
now,
head.
they'd have no
Here.
fucking maps.
I got a
Yeah.
photographic
Like, there's
memory.
no maps.
Give me that.
Have you tried to
Hey.
find a map
This place is a
lately?
maze. How the hell
Wait,
are we
they don't
gonna
sell
get that
Thomas
tank
guides
through
anymore?
this?
I have not found one.
It's not like we can turn
Yeah,
that thing
Thomas
into
guys.
a
You
dime.
can get maps
You
from like big
we're
states
not
from
far from the
AAA,
Eastern Bay
but you
Prison.
can't get those little books. Those like
Go ahead and turn
Yeah, they
them.
give you
E5
street by
books.
street.
Yeah, the Ram McNally books. The Thomas guys, you can't get
I
them.
thought
They're all
about
expensive.
loading up
They
there
stopped making
instead of the tower.
Mhm.
That would have been a bad idea.
Why is that?
I feel like
was thinking,
what was
maybe we can stay
what was
there
the
for the
youngest
night.
Bluth?
I bet it's safe.
In Arrested
Sure,
Development?
it's safe.
Oh,
I bet
It was
nothing
George
will
Michael?
get in there.
No, George Michael. No,
Shit.
the youngest
think
brother.
about that.
Oh,
Not Joe.
What? I don't get it.
But
Why is that so important?
Buster?
Buster.
This all
Yeah.
went
He was a
down.
cartographer.
The safest place.
I
It's
feel
designed
like
to
this is
keep
Buster's
people in.
moment.
This is.
We will survive.
If I was a betting man, I'd say there's a bunch of convicts still in
We're
lockup.
talking about the prison, Eastern
think
Bay
the guards
Prison.
Eastern Bay
Nothing
Prison,
in
which
there?
is a combination
let
of
him out,
Eastern
that's
State
for
from
sure.
Pennsylvania and Pelican
I
Bay.
left him in there to rot.
If you're wondering.
Should we do something?
I did a
about it?
documentary on Eastern State many years ago, which is why
This
I'm
way's
very
blocked.
connected with prisons and jails.
Any other ways through?
Because I've always been invested in the
Turn right
psychology
2
of
blocks up.
of inmates
Well.
and things like that.
Yeah.
Where's
just-
Eastern at?
Eastern
You ain't thinking
Pennsylvania.
clearly, are you,
Where?
Missy?
You know?
Eastern Bay isn't full of white-collar criminals
I
that
can't
cheated on their taxes.
Alright, 'cause my
Those
mom's
are
working
hardened
for,
criminals. I'd stay as
It's in
far away from
Pennsylvania,
there
not
as
that much.
possible.
correctional.
Shit.
I mean, I'm from Philly.
Look at
so,
this.
So I'm
No way
trying
I
to
can
think
get
of
through
my
that.
mom. I have to ask
Hold
my mom
on.
if she familiar with Eastern. She worked
Well,
in,
Bert,
correctional
looks like we have no
facilities out
choice.
What's that, darling?
there. There's some
Only other route that we might be able to use takes us
The
right by
the
the
interesting thing about this prison, and this is the first time I ever had known anything about Walking Dead when I talked about this prison, because I talked about it with my brother, and he's like, "Well, you know, there's a prison in Walking Dead, right?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah," and he's like, and he's like, "Well, they stay in it," and I'm like,
Just keep
"Oh,
heading
okay,
down
cool.
this
They're not
road.
staying in
You
it."
have a ways till Eastern
So
Bay.
I actually have the characters talk about why it's a really bad
Did I
idea
ever
to
tell
stay
you?
there.
Oh,
So
I
that was
remember
why that
Something
came
about
up in the
that
series.
doesn't
Eastern State's in
surprise me.
Philly, by the way.
Everybody's got
It's,
their
in,
lockup
it's off of
story.
Fairmount Avenue.
I was in
Yeah,
the
okay.
drunk
That's
tank
what
once.
alright.
It's
Yeah.
a historical
But
site
that's in
now.
the
They don't
military
actually use it.
lockup.
Yeah, you can get tours and
Bit
stuff. It's
different.
pretty creepy.
Bit worse.
They do
too.
stuff around Halloween,
I
so.
think Saul was trying to tell us
So if
a
you're in
story.
Philly, go to
Not
Eastern
everything
State.
needs to be
And
about
then just
Bert.
imagine that you're driving
Much
by
more interesting.
in a
So what did
Humvee.
you do?
Larceny. I was young and stupid.
That's
If you,
what they all
if
say.
you want to learn more
Would
about
you let
Eastern
him
State
tell his
Penitentiary, there's
story?
probably a documentary in the
Go
lobby
I stole
called
stuff from
Eastern
a
State
store.
Living Behind the Walls.
some money.
That I was the associate
I just
producer
turned 18
and
a few
editor
weeks
on,
before.
so.
Judge wanted to make an exam.
By the way, the thing that I was right
So I
about,
spent
the
close
first
to
thing I
a year
said,
in there.
Bet you
Saul
didn't
was
do
in
it
prison.
again, did ya?
Bert,
I
next
said that on the
door,
first,
and you
very
walk.
first episode, where I'm like, Saul's very
Went
connected
home.
to prison. That's the big
Mom was
instinct.
dead.
Maybe he was in prison, and
She
you're
moved
like,
down south.
maybe. And it kind of passed. And as
Everything
soon as
I
I
had
saw that,
left.
I'm like,
I don't know how
Saul
you
was in
caught
prison.
that.
I
Took
don't
a
know
lot of
either.
waves
I have a
from
weird
inside
brain,
me.
but I was like, I just
No
put
one
two and
signing
two
up at the
together, and when
time.
that
I got
connected
in.
right now, I was listening to this. I was like,
You
yes,
didn't
one
like
for a
that, did you?
gram. Connecting
really told
bits.
anyone
Was
that.
that intentional? Like, did
Only
you
you.
think that when you were writing the
Yeah.
first scenes, or was that
I
just
might
kind
have,
of-
yeah, because a lot of the backstory
We
for
won't say
the characters was
anything.
already pre-established for season
Will we,
one
Bert?
before we even started.
Can I
So-
talk
So when
now?
you're directing, when you're
Yeah.
directing
I'm not
Nate doing
gonna
his
say
scenes in the first episode, or like
I don't
it's
think I
like-
told him that, but I think I might have had it in my head.
Oh, okay,
Back
cool.
in my day, the judge would say,
I'm glad I caught that.
military.
I don't know how I caught it either,
prison
to be honest
in
with
their
you. I
sentencing.
made a leap of
Different
logic
war
that
back then.
ended up working
Different
out. Most of mine
soldiers,
don't,
too.
but that one did.
And once again, we're back to you.
So this,
Sorry about that.
can you pause for a second? A lot of people wonder where Bert comes from, and this is like one of the quintessential moments of my father right here, where you can be talking about a story, and then he might all of a sudden make the story more about him, and like it
Oh,
seems
no,
like
that's all parents. My mom does that.
I do
that's-
that.
yeah. So that was like that was
See, I
my,
just did it right now.
that was
We
my
did it right
inspiration
now.
for that. But even specifically when he's like, back in my day when you was either prison or war, that was the choice you were given. That's actually one of verbatim his stories of like.
Is your dad Bert? Is your dad an inspiration?
My
for Bert?
dad is a major inspiration for Bert.
Okay.
I pull a lot of pieces of him, but then I also make some of my own.
Here's a question
fun
for you,
hand-
Casey. Who did you see yourself in? What character did you see yourself the most in?
Michael. Michael, because of the awkwardness, not being able to talk to girls, it's a weird internal struggle that he has in the beginning of like adjusting from military life to civilian life. Like specifically when he went back to class, that like mimicked a moment when I went back, because I went from Baghdad to the classroom within a month, and that was very jarring. Because literally I like step into a classroom, and I went to a university where there's a lot of spoiled kids who don't care about their education, and I went in there and I'm like, do you understand how much I sacrifice to sit in this chair right now compared to you sitting next to me who is like shitting on the class that I'm trying to listen to right now? So I really struggled with a lot of anger issues too of how to make that adjustment, and so that's sort of the Michael in me there is that instance. But lots of little things I think, and also I think he has the most vernacular that becomes me.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes me recall that very first scene when they're in the school where it breaks out. I always love that
I'm being
scene.
direct. How's that? I swear to God, I quote Michael now in my life. It's like how is that rude if I'm just telling you exactly how it is and how I feel? Like, how is it wrong? But yeah, my wife hates that. All right, ready?
Carry on.
Truth be told, I haven't had many people to tell my stories to for quite a while now. Not since my wife Shirley died.
And now we know
You
about
named
Shirley.
your gun after your wife.
This is another moment.
Well, that way she's always with me.
This is a moment where
was
you get to
hers
feel a bit
originally.
more about Bert, peeling back
tell
the
you
layers
what,
a little bit, which is
that
cool.
woman
Like
could
this is
shoot.
episode just peeling back the layers
What?
of the onions. Every
What
5 minutes
happened
is
to
like
her?
another major thing that
Liver
twists
cancer.
how you think about a
Only took
character.
a few weeks.
Even Lizzie later on, you
Glad
get
it went
that.
quick.
But
Never
the-
touched the
Bert's
drop
such a
after
weird
that.
scenario because the zombie apocalypse
It's
saved
only
his
been
life.
me in the shop for the last
It
6
really
months,
did.
and
Like he
Don't
would
have
have
many that
he
stick
would have
around and
spiraled down a
chat much
drain
anymore.
in the direction he was already headed.
So
had
I'm
this not
sorry
happened.
if I make
and the
everything
people come
about
to him
me.
like they did.
just glad to have someone to listen for once.
So the crazy thing is,
It's all right, I'm
he
used to
loves
it.
both of you
I'm a
at this
therapist,
moment. He
remember?
really does, but
Well,
it's in
kind
his
of.
own way.
Right.
How can you be kind of a
But he doesn't
therapist?
drink because his wife had
Well,
liver cancer,
See, now
Yes.
I have the degrees and the diplomas on my wall
which
at
is,
home. Just never
shitty.
had any patients.
as we know.
Say what?
Well, of course, I had practice patients
yeah.
in college. Everyone has those. But afterwards,
I had a
I
practice
never really
therapist.
applied it.
Did you have a
Yeah.
practice therapist?
had
I
a
mean, I
practice
was going
therapist.
to.
That's
I
where
just
this came from.
didn't have the chance yet.
What
You
was
were
that experience
motivated
like?
to Or you just didn't have
I was in a
time?
relationship that wasn't going well, and I just
both,
they were like,
but I
"Do you have anything we can talk
kinda
about?"
wasn't
And I was like,
really
"Yeah, I'm in a
motivated
shitty
to,
relationship.
be
Let's talk about
honest.
that."
Why not?
So, and they basically
I
was just going through
didn't
that,
really
and
care much for
it
other
was just
people's
basically me
I
talking to
realized
them
that
and
midway through
them
my
telling me to
doctorate.
leave them.
Well, why didn't you just
So.
change majors then?
Yeah.
Hard to do that when your daddy's footing the bill.
Yeah, and
It's
it
just easier to finish it up.
in the end, they were right.
What was your
It just
plan
took a while to figure that
after
out.
all was said and done?
But like, so
That's
like practice,
just
a
it.
practice
I
therapist
didn't
is,
have
is
one.
that a therapist in training?
Not
Yeah.
before, not during.
And I
not
think they're practicing
after.
now.
Maybe that's why I
It
ended
was
up
like a
with
friend of
Todd.
a friend kind of thing.
He seemed to have
That was
it.
interesting.
And
Because
it
I had never
ended
been
up
to
being
therapy at that
worthless.
point. I was like, I want to know what this is like.
Yet you skated on your father's
You also
dime
learn
for
about
your
a little bit about Lizzie's
useless
background in terms of
education,
her social status
just to
too,
throw it
because we
away.
know
Yeah.
that she has a father that at
Because
least has enough
selfish
money to pay for her to go to school.
Come
Yeah.
on, Bird.
So that means
No,
she's
he's
from
right,
money, but yet
but
still has the
I wanna
ability to
change
shoot
that now.
a gun.
I realized it after Todd.
So
I don't want
I-
anyone to have to go through
I
that.
Glad we had
Lizzie's
this
one of the.
little
She's actually from a
conversation.
very wealthy
But it's
family.
game time, people.
But it's one of those
Prison's
characters
up
that
here
like,
on
oh,
11.
this is the world you're thrust into.
I don't
You
see
have
anything.
to live in it now.
Just because
Money
you
means
can't see
nothing.
it
So
doesn't mean it's not
what are you
there.
gonna do in this?
Saul,
and I
She
think
has to step
hold on.
away.
I feel like she's the kind of character that would have resented being from money too, like almost like like being with
It's
Todd.
quiet.
And Todd, I don't know much about Todd yet.
Man,
I don't know if
Todd
you-
just sounds like an asshole.
he does everything he,
He was
does.
into
Get
motorcycles.
inside.
But he's also a
Maybe the
status.
prisoners
He's a
just
status
starved
level
to death.
down from her at this point.
Yeah.
Should I
So that
keep-
means that she's actively
Yeah,
trying to
keep
get
driving.
out of that rich
There's
girl
nothing
life,
here for us.
which would make sense why she's into the bad guys.
Rebellious a bit.
Yeah,
This place.
she's not your
It's worse
typical
on the
like
inside.
uh,
They modeled it after some old ones on the East
person
Coast.
that would be just
brick
living
by
off of their
brick.
parents' trust funds. and stuff.
Figured they'd make it
That's
look
not
like
Lizzie at
hell.
all. So
It
Then
definitely
people
made her a
try to
different
stay
person
out.
for sure.
Some of the worst of the worst.
yeah,
are
Todd
sent
Todd
here.
doesn't seem like a good person.
he definitely wasn't.
No. No.
But he actually was going to become a full-blown character.
Don't you
But he
pee
got
on
cut
me.
because too many
Can't you go any
voices.
faster?
Too many voices.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see something.
You're gonna see what? There's nothing to see. Come on.
All right. I'm going.
So this is us introducing us to the Eastern
You
State,
didn't stay there, did you?
or Eastern Bay Prison.
For what he
and
did.
just the
That's a
presence of
federal
it
prison.
and who might
but
have
they
been
stick
there.
you in some
I
little
think we're all
which
past
is
that now.
important for the story.
Let's just focus on what we need to do.
Yeah.
Not much further now.
If only there was another We're Alive property called Lockdown.
Oh, that's not even. That's a jail, not a prison.
Oh, it's not. Oh, I see. Okay, I was thinking. I don't know anything about Lockdown yet, but I was assuming.
Yeah, there's a mid-roll there.
There's a bit
Yeah.
in this one.
Yeah, but no, there's a very big difference between a jail and a prison. Even
This is as close
all the way
as
down
we
to the
can get.
inmates to jurisdiction, everything's
You
so
ran the
different.
gate
It's
with
like a
this
whole
thing?
different world.
It's federal
I'm surprised
prison.
we got as far as we
Yeah.
did.
The
Come
worst,
on.
the worst in there.
Oh, thank you. No more rain.
Are they by a bay
Is it
though?
all right to
There's
leave
still a
Lady
water
in here?
sound.
I'll follow you,
Um,
tanker.
Like
That
we
is
drive your
probably
green machine
the
back with your
gutters.
precious dog.
Oh,
with,
okay.
with like
Lady.
and the wind is still blowing
Stay.
too. If you listen closely,
is this
it's
place?
that playground
Angel
wind
says
that I
this is
use
where
all the
some
time.
I know
Takers
that
go left
one.
from
I've
the
used that in
finals.
my things.
They
Okay.
go for benefit stations.
That's right. Graham is now a sound designer.
Okay, so what exactly are we looking for?
I thought it was that one too. I was gonna ask about it. I was like, is that playground? You're using
playground.
playground in that
Most of
shit?
these
it's my
Okay.
favorite sound effect for wind. It's my
This
go-to.
one's-
It's a good one. It's got those little birds. Like,
Wait,
Mhm.
wait, what's the difference?
It's very
Are
calming.
you serious?
I'm
Sometimes
sorry,
I just
but
put that
yes,
on just
I'm
while I'm doing other
serious.
things. Just have it like.
Unleaded
that's
is
kinda
used
weird.
in
When a sound
These
designer
are
says
used
that,
in
Graham.
big rigs and trucks. Different type of fuel for different
That's what it is, man.
applications.
Having a
But
calm day. I'm
how
gonna
can
put
you
on
tell the
playground.
difference? Like, which tankers
Oh,
have which?
this is one of my educational
Oh, my
moments, like
dear.
trying to teach people the
Very
difference
easy.
between diesel and
Diesel smells
gasoline.
different.
If you actually had to like tell the difference, you could
If you
you
rub it on
could
your
look.
fingers, it won't have a greasy
And the
texture.
gas goes bad. Most people don't know
See,
that
this
either.
here is unleaded.
I think I have that mentioned as a note too. That was like, oh, good info about diesel and
Just look at this
unleaded. I have that right there.
that
Good info
says
about diesel and
unleaded.
unleaded. No idea.
Oh, well.
I
And
want
then-
it-
Sure you
So,
can do that too.
I'm gonna pause it real second.
I was
So,
just
so
being
Lizzie's
thorough.
actually kind of, to borrow my nickname for a second, she's actually acting as like the avatar of the people here a little bit
Yeah.
too. She's the everyman in this character. Like, this is you need to tell people how this happens, and so you have Lizzie ask these questions or not, or just like they're like Bert and Saul just offering that information to Lizzie as if she doesn't know, even though she probably does because that's kind of what they do.
I think Casey did a really good job of that because I felt like Pegs was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
too. Like she was a lot of like the avatar of the people. Because I mean, if a zombie apocalypse goes down, I'm glad I did 4 seasons of this. So but prior
Do you think
to
you'd have a
that,
chance now?
Yeah, I mean
More than before, at least.
Oh yeah.
You could at least be the guy that goes out.
I mean, I'm
and
not
finds
gonna
the
go straight
diesel.
to the prison. I know that.
Yeah.
Where'd you go now?
I mean, to be holed up in a tower sounds like a smart idea. But I don't know. I think I would try to get to water as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's usually the universal sort of feeling. But then you get to Hawaii and then they're out there and you're like, fuck, I gotta go to the Forbidden Island. Oh, I don't have Hawaii credentials.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
You're gonna get over there in the boat. You're gonna get over there in the boat, and they're gonna be like,
get out of here.
go. And I'm like, it's a zombie apocalypse. And they're like, are you local?
Are you a local?
Locals only. Locals only.
Sorry.
Not a local.
If you were local and infected, we talk. But you know,
Yeah, but you're not.
maybe.
What are you gonna do? Thank you for pausing. Yeah, I think we're good.
Now she knows.
Yeah, she is the
All
everyman.
these are
that you
either
kinda explained
unleaded
to.
or
That's an
empty.
exposition thing there
Shit.
too. Is like,
Where's the film
you know,
point?
Harry Potter.
Where's what?
How do we know about the magical world?
Do
Through
you see
somebody who
any
doesn't know
spot
it.
that looks
Right.
like it has a faucet
Do a muggle.
pointing down somewhere where we can fill one of these up at? It'll be green for diesel.
I can't see from up here.
Also,
Hold on.
we have to tell
Let me climb
colors verbally because there's no way to know color in without it. It's one of those things that
there.
has to be said, otherwise
At the
you lose
top.
it.
Green
Is
for
it
diesel.
clear?
Yep.
Do we have a path there?
Looks good. Go ahead and start her up.
So how come the car starting doesn't attract the zombies?
It's kind of an even drone. It's
Okay.
not very
We were
loud.
losing daylight quick.
It doesn't
Bert was
carry
a
very
little
far.
rusty
A
back when we
gunshot
got
will
Tink.
go much further.
We lost a little bit of time, but not enough to make me worried. I just didn't know
You
how
get past the
long
Road
it was
Warrior
going to
stuff
take to
already?
fill it up.
Probably not yet.
Not yet. Also, think of this. They are attracted to
That's
gunshots
far
because they
enough.
know that someone's there, versus a truck,
Oh.
which is like mobile. You know,
Got it.
if they're
Liz,
smart about it.
Flip that switch over.
So Bert really
Oh,
sucking backing
shit.
up a truck is
I
quality
hope
of
this
me.
place has power.
I can't back up a trailer
Here
to save
goes.
my life. I don't know if that's important, but it's there.
Yeah, something in there.
Ha.
Oh,
Finally,
there's your
we're in
TV
luck
cathode
for
tube, right?
The little electricity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember
A
that
few
from the
roadblocks
first
and
one.
lock fences. We
Actually,
can
what
get
is that
around.
one? Let's see it, Brian.
Couldn't have
I don't think that
siphoned
was actually a cathode ray tube on this one.
That wasn't? Oh,
Ooh, we can dive into the session on this one.
yeah. We can put
We
up
can
the.
go back to.
I've got to find it. Let me try.
Yeah. It's hard to find some of these things.
Just walk away.
Yeah.
We can put up.
It
Put up the
does feel
session on the
like
screen
that.
too.
I didn't even think about it.
I don't get it.
That, little lady, was one of
Did it
my
already happen,
favorite
or what?
movies.
Yeah, we can just keep going. It's okay.
Warrior.
Hey, Bert, think you should trick this thing out with some barbed wire, some crazy traps along the sides?
I wanted to include these
Always in our
post-apocalyptic
movies, I
things
just don't
like
get it.
Road Warrior and all this
What?
stuff, because
You
no
don't like
other
movies?
zombie movie
Like
or
them?
they don't
Yes.
reference
Enough to
other
cope with
apocalyptic
them?
stuff.
No.
Yeah, the intertextuality is pretty solid in this one.
So what
Yeah.
do we do now?
That's a
Now,
fancy word
wait.
for one movie
I
referencing
have
another.
no idea how long
Film
it's going to take
classes,
to fill
they
this
are worth
thing
it.
up either.
Say that one more time so they can hear it.
Soon we're losing
Intertextuality.
daylight.
I've actually haven't heard that in a long
No,
time.
I've never even heard it before.
Oh, I'm in a film critical studies class right now. I hear it like on the regular, every five
I
seconds.
always loved my film, like critical studies classes. Were always so
About
good.
3/4 full,
They're my favorite
I
classes.
think.
You have to learn to watch movies and then talk about them.
Said that 20 minutes ago.
Like I have to go and listen to
Well,
a cool
it's not like I
podcast
have
and
a
go on and talk
dipstick.
about them. This is like
We need to fill it up
the
all
equivalent
the
of my film studies class
No, we don't.
for the day.
But do you really want to come back here anytime soon?
Besides, it's easier to drive
What's that
through when
pump
it's
sound
full.
then?
Otherwise,
Is that
it's
a
going
pump?
to slosh around
Yeah, it's a
back
pump.
there.
It's an actual pump.
Okay.
It's a lot of
Like a
weight we're
water
moving
pump?
around.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
a
that
little
good
water
of a
pump.
driver.
Like a little water on it.
And
Here we go.
Much longer.
maybe around 20 more
Oh.
minutes or so. Too much longer.
I'll
Got
drop
that
these.
whiskey from my house? That could burn off some time?
That
Left it with
Middleton
your
whiskey.
dog back at the gate.
So
Don't be an idiot.
plant that the whiskey's in the car.
Sober.
Yep.
That's a thing that I
Are
have
we
to
driving
do.
home tonight?
I was thinking we could stop off at a Motel 6 on the way home.
Very funny. But I'm serious.
So was I.
Oh.
No way am I gonna drive
Bird
home in this
doesn't
thing at night.
Right? There was like no
Tink.
like
Isn't there
the
space back
disappointment
there
in
for
Lizzie.
one?
The picture was not
Dibs
like
on
some
the
sort
back.
of flirt. She was like,
These things
oh,
combat
Comfortable
mode.
spot.
Yeah.
Why do you think I
there's
called
just
it?
nothing
I'm
to
gonna
that. You
Everything
mean like
else
really
in
just
the
go to
chair
bed?
looks better
Okay,
than
yeah,
I
good.
could. Besides, less chance of any hanky-panky if I'm laying there.
Trust me, that's not gonna happen.
Isn't it?
What the hell was that?
Don't put anything past Saul at this point.
No.
It's one of them.
Looks like we're leaving with what we got. Saul, shut up the pump. I'll cover you.
Those footsteps sound a little weird.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's a can. That's a can footstep right there. I can tell.
Can footsteps are so hard to
Stay
use.
close, Liz.
Still
I know.
finding your
Nothing beats the
feet
Foley
at
of
that time?
footsteps.
You got a Foley. It's a principle now, but it wasn't always back then. Sometimes I was like, well, I'm in my living room or in my office. It's like 12:30 at night. Do I want to Foley this or just drop it?
Move
Drop the
towards
sound
the
effect?
front.
And
Maybe it
then
was an animal.
8 years later, you're like, oh, I should have used
Well,
a Foley.
early on,
With 2 feet.
doing Foley was really difficult
what
because
I
I didn't have a
heard.
Foley stage.
I
Like
know.
I did, but I had to go there, put the session in for just one footstep. Sometimes it's like, nah.
Stupid little shit. Thought he'd get the drop on me.
Oh,
So
there's-
Bert's hand cannon
You and your
is
damn
literally
hand cannon, Bert. They heard
a
that.
cannon combined with some other stuff too.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a little mix of stuff.
Here's where the music cue, I really first noticed it. Like this part right here where they're doing the, like the getaway
This
kind of
thing-
thing.
Drive.
You had that action. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
It's a straight shot out
Like
of
really
here.
pumping through
We're
here.
gonna be all right.
And then you go back and listen and it's all there.
Sweet Jesus, that was fun.
Lady. Shit.
Okay.
I gotta go get
I
her.
have
There's
beef
no
with
time.
this
Saul.
sound effect right here. I have beef
Yeah,
with
lady
just
is
stay
very
here.
loud.
it. Yes. How is lady heard when you're driving off in a truck, a diesel truck was really loud, driving away?
Right
How are you
behind
gonna
you.
hear a puggle in a hybrid from that far away? I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen.
Well,
He's just outside
there
there.
was an unspoken link
No,
between
no.
and Lady, and we were just happened to hear what Saul was hearing in his head.
We got a telepathic link that Saul and Lady
yeah,
have.
it was the distress call.
Why did you leave Lady in the car? Damien would like to know.
Oh, why was she left in the car?
Yeah.
Why would you take a dog out of the car, like when you're trying to get something done, think of it like this: if you took the dog with you while you're backing up a truck and like getting it's just no, you just leave it in the car.
Yeah.
And the reason why you could hear it, what do you do when you leave a dog in the car? You roll the window down a little bit.
Yeah, but they're still
I
in
know,
another
I
car
know.
driving away, Casey.
But I would say
and
that
diesel trucks are loud, man.
In the visual of my mind, I see Saul there, and then he's just. It's just a split screen.
Well,
And
and,
then you see
and you know,
Lady barking, but he feels it.
you know why this stands out though is because every other piece of sound thing is so well thought out and so like on point that something like that doesn't is like a leap of logic kind of turns your head and you go, wait a minute, why is that? I know narratively
would
why we
say-
had to have that sound in there.
I would
but
say
like,
you would hear something. Would it be that loud? No.
No, not even close.
It wouldn't be that loud. It's the loud the way you hear it there is enhanced so you can actually hear it. But if I was to mix this nowadays, I probably would.
I
put
mean,
it
and
lower.
this is it's a minor thing. People listening to this probably like, who cares? But I was like, I just wanted
no,
to
I
know.
mean, it's valid.
You
It's
know,
valid. It's
If-
totally valid.
If we're doing it in future
That would be
scenes.
really, really disappointing if they got all the way to chapter 5, heard Lady bark from a different car, and go, you know what? That's it.
Fuck this.
I'm
I'm
in.
out."
My suspicion to willingly disbelieve this. I'm done. I'm not gonna watch any more of this. Listen to this anymore. I'm out. That would be tragic.
That would be awful.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I'm just being nitpicky because that's what I do.
Oh, I love it. That's why you're the avatar of the people. You get to give us that
I
perspective.
gotta give you some shit. All right.
They get that particular.
Also, cliffhanger at the end of this.
Yeah, it is a
And
cliffhanger.
this
Does
episode-
Saul survive?
A part 2 cliffhanger. Not even a part 3 cliffhanger. Part 2.
Yeah, these are the little in-betweener weeks that like the original fans from like 2009 were like, but nowadays it's like, okay, I'm just going to the next episode.
Yeah,
But back in the day, you had to
Yeah, you
wait
had to
and
wait.
wait, and
I
people were like,
listened to that episode on a plane, just so you know, and I actually did wait for like an hour before I listened to part 3.
yeah.
One
Did you
because
think Saul was going to be
No, because Saul had like plot armor a little bit. Like we
Yeah,
at first of all, I also knew that I had recorded with you later on, so I knew you were still around.
True.
But also too, like just in like the general thing, I'm like, there's no way Casey's gonna kill off. He's not George R.R. Martin. He's not gonna kill off one of his main characters like that in the first 5 episodes. Maybe 6 episodes, maybe 7, but not Saul either. Like
Casey, didn't you say that you have a lot of like respect for George R. R.
I do,
In
I
a
do, but
earlier episode you talked about.
I do have a lot of respect for him. He's one of my favorite authors, but I actually kind of do agree with Graham. My style of killing characters is not the same as his.
What would you say is his style?
His style
Willy-nilly.
is.
So he just like picks a hat out, a name out of
Who's
a hat.
gonna die
You're
today?
gonna die! This chapter, you're done.
I think, well, put it this way. I think sometimes he uses characters' deaths to just move the plot along and to close up holes rather than some of the rather than having the deaths mean something more. That's been something that like my perspective about it is that like if you have a character die, the story could not have possibly moved on with them still part of it, and B that the story needed them to die. Like it's just it's so crucial that they're supposed to die at this moment that it contributes to the rest of the story. Whereas I feel like there's so many deaths in his books that you can't do that for all of them.
I think if there was to be a character that died in this moment, it would not have been Saul. It would have been Lady.
Whoa!
It would have been. No, it would have been
Could,
because I'm glad that we know.
Lady doesn't have plot armor, plot fur.
Right, but also Lady's death would mean something to Saul, like specifically in terms of his character.
That's true.
So, but
like, how successful are shows in
Killing dogs?
that kill dogs?
John Wick.
Oh, John Wick. There's 2 of them now.
Yeah,
there's a sequel now.
All about killing the dog.
Yep. I'm just saying, but yeah, there's rules that you don't do, but yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not saying I wanted Lady to die. I'm glad that Lady survived. But like, I also know if there was a point to kill somebody at that moment in that cliffhanger in that car, it's not gonna be Saul. It's not. That's all. So I'm glad you chose the more humanitarian, humane society route and didn't kill either of them. But well, that'd be some episode 3 talk, I guess.
All right.
So some part 3 talk. But
Speaking of which, I know we have a couple fans who have some very interesting questions coming up here for us. So let's go ahead and jump into those now. All right, cool. So that's about the end of that episode here. We're gonna run into the next one. Let me just start that over. So those are some great questions. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the end of this episode, and then move on to the next. What am I doing here?
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm trying to figure out a bridge, and I'm not doing very well. Let me try one last time. I'll try one last time, and then I'm just gonna give up the reins completely. Those are some great questions. Thank you all for joining us for that was Chapter 5, Part 2 of Lady and the Tink with Nate G's and Graham Bechtel and Brian. My brain is melting.
Lincoln.
Brian Lincoln. My brain is melting at the moment. Sorry, Brian. And Shanti. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back for the next time for Part 3. Sorry, let's take a break. My brain is starting to get a little warm in here, and I was like, oh yeah, let's do a clap. All right, let's take a quick break here. Is that good by everybody?
Yeah.
All right, all you live
Turn
streamers, we're gonna
some
take
AC
a
on.
quick 10-minute break or so we all can breathe and use the restroom and all that stuff. We will be right back for part 3. Enjoy the spoilers that may or may not be spoken in this room. Probably try to go outside and do those.
I need to find that. It's the remote to stop the recording. Where did it go? I know it couldn't have gotten far. 'Cause I didn't go far.
Yeah.
Nope. Weird. Oh, there's lots of remotes here. Oh wait.
Is that a Blair Price is Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she went to Price is Right a long time ago.
No, I think that was from an improv show.
No, that's from when she was on Price is Right.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know
that's her memento box.
I remember seeing a show, I think that Blair was in, with those kind of names.
saying it.
So what do you think of the little
Love it, man.
outpost?
This is so dope.
It's
I mean, if I was, I don't want to say this on camera, but like, you know, if I was Blair, I'd be a little bit like, okay, where's my photo?
Oh no,
She's up there.
Oh, she's right there.
That's not Blair.
No.
No, bro.
No,
Oh wait a minute, her photos. It's right there. There's a 2-shot of us on
I
the
see
top
it. Yeah.
there. There's a lot of photos of us inside too. But yeah, you're right. There are a lot of collected.
Yeah, like I need to stick one up. So.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
Final Fantasy, a lot of.
Oh yeah, there's
Super
a whole
Mario
bunch of
World.
Final Fantasy there.
Legend of
I'm
Zelda.
a huge collector of Amiibo.
Do you have?
As you can
Are you
see,
gonna get another shelf unit for the more amiibos coming
I
out?
need to get another one now, but I don't think I can afford it. So what I'm just gonna do is probably just get some shelves on top and just kind of put them around. I just don't
do
have
like a-
enough room for the display.
Can you put like a bridge between those two things? Like a
I
couple
probably can put shelves in between here. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
put
you got
it-
all the new Legend of Zelda stuff coming out. You got 4 more of those, and then you got all the Super Mario Odyssey ones coming out. Those are coming down. Whoa.
Yeah, right.
Well, I already
Yeah.
have 2 of them.
What, the Odyssey ones?
The Koopa and the Goomba just came out. The other wedding ones haven't come out yet though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I know.
Did you get Odyssey pre-ordered?
No, I'm just gonna do digital download.
That's what I'm gonna do too. I don't need the disc
Because
version of it.
yeah, because I have the Switch and I have the chip for what do you call it? For Zelda Breath of the Wild, and like I feel like I don't want to carry chips with me.
Yeah.
And now that they actually have like the backup purchases, it's like, oh, if I lose my Switch, I still have the game.
Mhm.
So I like that.
I just need Virtual Console. Although I have my SCS Classic, so
Yeah, I have the SNES class.
still have not opened it yet.
You haven't?
No, I'm waiting for after the semester's over. I told myself I cannot get distracted with the Super NES until the semester's done. So November 15th, I'm gonna bust that thing open, and we're gonna play some I'm playing some Star Fox 2. Can't wait.
Star Fox.
The second one is only available on this SNES Classic.
I know. it's
Never
crazy.
released anywhere else.
All right.
Oh, where we at?
ready?
Where's my papers?
Let's just start the roll if you don't mind, just so we can get a
Yes.
get it going.
Get rolling, we
Let's do it.
Live streamers, we are back.
Thank you for being
Hello.
patient.
I'm gonna start recording now.
Oh, I got 6 text messages.
All right.
That's more than me.
It's all my fantasy football group.
People love you.
No, my fantasy football group is making fun of me
Okay,
right
ready?
now because my team
All right,
sucks.
recording.
What is that?
Oh, dead now.
All right. And
Whatever it
clapping.
was, not there.
Cool. Oh, that was a loud clap.
Loud clap.
Loud clap. Clappers, are you ready? Oh, yeah. All right. So, all set, team?
Oh, the air conditioning.
Oh,
Ah,
good
good
call.
call.
Good call.
Goodbye, nice cool air.
Actually,
Hello, pure sound.
it has gotten a little better in here. I'm not sweating as bad as I was in the beginning. Now that outside's cooled down.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all gone? Yeah, it's gone. Cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to We're Alive Archive. We're covering Chapter 5, Part 3 of Lady in the Tink.
Yeah.
With me is my guest, Nate G's, who you know as Saul from the series. We have the Avatar of the People, Graham Bechtel.
Hi.
And Brian Lincoln. I got your name right this time on the editing system in the back. We cooled down. We had a break. We're back to give you even more fun We're Alive commentary of everything. And I have a really interesting question for you. Do you remember leaving the show in like the middle of the second season?
Yeah, I do.
You remember that?
I do.
It was the weirdest thing because like it worked out perfectly for us actually.
Yeah.
But it was like one of those things we had to like cleverly orchestrate and like manipulate the timeline a little bit to give you some room.
I felt bad. That was the thing that I when I was thinking, I was like, yeah, I was putting all my ducks in a row just so that people know. Like I ended up taking off and going to like South America.
Yeah, like you were
for,
like,
like,
I'm gonna
6
go on
months.
an adventure for a while.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I'm there's things that I need to sort of sort out. I've always wanted to do this, and this is probably the best time for me to do this. And so I remember getting it all in a row, and then I remember getting an email about a recording session. I was like, oh shit, oh my god, I gotta tell fucking Casey. Oh my god, oh dude, this sucks. And I remember. Yeah, I was like, hey man, I'm probably gonna be taking off. I don't know when I'm gonna come back. I don't have an exact date, but like I want to be a part of this. I think this is amazing.
And you were true to your word. Like
Yeah.
I was like, cool. And I was like, as long as you work with me, we can make this work.
Yeah,
No
you were
problem.
like, no matter what, we'll find a way. And I was like, but then I remember giving you. I was like, look, man, I don't want to spoil anything, but I was like, yo, if you want to kill me off too, like I get it. And you're like, no, I got plans.
I couldn't.
You're like, I got plans, and I was like, okay. Well, also because you didn't actually tell me where the character was going.
No,
and
I didn't
I'm
tell
not gonna.
anybody.
I'm not gonna like spoil it for Graham here, but
I mean,
like, you know,
this is before. Like you remember, I did record with you after,
Yes,
after
yes,
the second
yes,
season,
yes, I
so
know.
I knew that your character wasn't dead. Like I know that.
Yeah, but I mean, there was there's things that the first season takes you on where you're uncertain about Saul's future.
Yeah.
And I wasn't certain, so I was like, well, I don't quite know, and I was like, well,
we had an out, but I didn't have much of an out. Like if you would have left, it would have been a gigantic gaping hole that
yeah,
I'd
no,
have to find
I
somewhere.
mean, I was like, yo, if I have to record in some little shanty room in the middle of Bolivia,
we have Saul found a pit. He has a radio.
Yeah, I was gonna find a way for sure, but yeah, I ended up taking off for like, and it's so funny too because when I got back, I didn't even tell you I remember getting the email. You were like, okay, man, I don't know how you're doing, but this is kind of what the situation is, and in this couple of weeks, I don't know how we're gonna do this, and I just emailed you back. I was like, bro, I'm already back. Like,
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm already back. Like,
You know what?
I'm ready to do this.
I never throw away emails, so I could probably find them.
Yeah, I was like, I'm already back. I'm ready to do this. Let's get this thing going.
And it worked out. Honestly, it worked out perfectly. And probably we'll talk about that a little bit more because we had to do some manipulation of the plot a little bit for when you come back. So we'll probably have you come back on Archive again when we get a little later on.
Yeah.
Talk about some of these episodes.
I would love to. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that like I actually think it made the audience, the fans, appreciate Saw even more. Because he was gone. Like it was like a good at least 2 or 3 episodes maybe.
Yeah, but you weren't technically gone.
No, I was gone.
But
but it was. There was no,
no
one
Saul-centric plots.
One take Saul, recording sessions.
Just use your yeah.
What? We have the generics.
What do you think about that, Saul? Yeah.
It'd be like a whole discussion, and I'll be like, "Well, what does Saul think about?" I like it.
All right. Okay. Saul, you gonna make it?
Yes.
Oh man.
Clip from old episode. Yes.
Not to say that we ever did that, but we did do pieces of words when we had to find them for lines. Like, oh shoot, we're missing a line here, and then I would like find one from another line or that we had another.
Wait, you really did that?
Not for you, but for other characters. Yeah, there was
so...
some bridges and things and missing pieces because sometimes it's like something isn't very clear and you have to like fill in that extra word to make it happen. Matter of fact, actually, there's like when you listen to this episode today, there's a line in here I specifically found that was a generic that's in there. Bert says, "There's no time." That's not in the script. It's a generic that's inserted in. So when you hear it in this episode, it's one of those things. It's just like you needed something to illustrate some extra, motion in the scene. Some of these generics kind of filled in there.
Wow.
Yeah, those things actually
the magic of audio theater.
Yeah, that's why I loved it because like honestly, there were days where like you could come in early, knock somebody out first if they're just have to get in and out.
Yeah, and then you would just go back, and if they didn't quite get something, you would go back into like the archives, and I guess plug in some stuff. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, it worked out really well. Well, let's jump in here.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't kill me off, man.
I am too.
This was
I don't know what the hell I would have done.
This is one of my fun roles, man. I felt by the end of this, and I know people have probably heard me say this before, but I was like, by the end, man, I was like, I just think Casey's just looking at me and just go, okay, well, how would Nate say this? All right,
Kinda.
That'll work.
I think I got in tune with all of you. Like, I think I have...
I mean, I'm going to be a little selfish. I think you did a really good job capturing my voice. I think just the melding of Saul and Nate really worked. It worked a lot.
Well, here's the thing. And the people need to realize that, like, yes, I wrote this, but I also was one of the primary editors. So I heard you so much that I have a little piece of you in my brain now.
Yeah.
So, like, all the characters are, like, in there that I can recall and put you on the page super easy.
I mean, I would not want to take a tour of your mind. I'm just going to there, but it sounds very busy.
It's a creepy place.
But I'm glad you did it. Like, and I'm glad you got it.
It was a blast. That's honestly, and this is one of the things is like as a writer, being able to like get that sense of working with an actor and then getting them in your head made things so much easier as a writer from then on.
Yeah,
Because I was able to tap into like switching, like, oh no, this is that person's voice, and this is what they would say. For anybody who's a writer, one of the techniques that I always say is if you can take a scene and swap the characters who are just, the dialogue of who's saying what line, just swap them completely and it doesn't matter, then this dialogue's not specific to anybody. So like, and you cannot do that with any of the characters, I think, and especially this scene, it's like Saul and Bert, not one of those lines is interchangeable. And that's how you create dynamic characters, is make it so unique to them.
For sure.
So, rock and roll. Let's burn in this.
We're alive. A story of survival. He says it so much better.
We're alive.
See?
A story of survival. Chapter 5.
Moving down. Oh,
Lady
so
and the
this is one of those episodes where we repeated a big section because we just had to fill
Part
time.
2 of 3.
Yeah.
So like we start way back where this left early
Written
on to
by
try and
Casey Whalen.
stretch it out. Yeah, this is because this episode's really short. Like, let me check if I can grab it. There it is. Yeah, super short. It actually says Chapter 5, Episode 1 and 2.
Wow.
You and
original
your
one.
damn
And
hand
the original
cannon, Bert. They
title was
heard that.
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed that you, like, on that shelf of spiral notebooks,
This thing.
He's dry.
you just linked on the... Yeah, that's it, right there.
It's a straight shot out of here.
Like, how?
We're gonna be all
Why?
right.
Can you pause for 2 seconds, Brian? The weirdest part is Blair has played this game where she'll pick out a script, she'll read a couple lines and have you guess where it is. That's
And
her
he's
favorite.
good at it.
Not always, but I can pretty much do it. We can, do you know what? Do you want to play it at the end?
Yes.
All right, I'll let you play.
I can't play though.
You can't play.
Damn.
But all you need to do is you can read one line from there, but you don't pick something like, well, why not? Because that won't help me much.
I was so excited about a thing that I can't play in. Damn.
If you give me like 2 lines, it's usually give me like 1 or 2.
We're gonna do this.
All right, I
Well,
like
have
it.
fun, y'all. I'll come back and watch these later on after I listen to the series. I go, that was a fun game that we played 5 years ago.
I will find a line that will not tip you off too much.
Yeah.
Well, that's who
But that
says
would
it
still
though.
be specific
No,
enough.
but here's the thing: is he can do a different character voice for that character to throw me off.
Oh.
Yeah, so stick around because we got some good stuff coming up here.
Just find the Max character lines. I know those lines. Okay.
I can find them.
Sweet Jesus, that was fun.
Lady. Shit. I gotta go get her.
There's no time.
Saul.
That's one.
There's
no time.
You just stay in here, Missy.
I'm coming, girl. I'm coming.
They're right behind you.
Shit.
Saul. He's trapped inside there.
There's nothing we can do. Shut the door, quick!
I'm not doing this again. I can't leave him behind.
Shut that door now!
It's the same thing that happened to Todd.
But it's not happening to you. Shut that door. He shouldn't have left us. He was safe in here.
They'll get him.
So
You
I
hear
wrote a
that?
note in here. Do
They
stupid
didn't
things,
get him
get
yet.
stupid results.
I know that boy.
Like,
He ain't
run
going
after a
down
dog
without a
and
fight.
This is like
Come
that-
on, shut the door.
that, like,
There's nothing we can
everyone
do
does
for it
something
right now.
stupid in a movie. They usually end up dying, but with Saul, it just ends up smelling like roses or mildew. So Bert's the practicalist here.
Yeah. He has to be though. He really does, because otherwise nobody else. Lizzie's not going to be.
No.
She wants
What are
to
we doing?
put herself in danger.
I figure
to
this
not
is
have a
far
repeat of
enough.
Todd.
It gets hairier up ahead. I'd rather try and
These are
manage
actually
it
the
daylight.
originals that I directed you from.
I
We're
know,
not going
dude.
back
I'm
for
looking at this. This
You
is so
saw how many
cool.
there were, and what those things did to that group of cars
Sometimes
yesterday.
you'll find notes in there from
I
the
know
actors
Saul made
and
that hybrid tough,
Hey, hey.
but not that tough.
Stop raining. Yep.
I don't think he made it.
Stop raining.
See, but you
Some
don't
have no
know.
notes, some are just like, eh.
We don't know.
No, we may not know, but I wouldn't bet on it.
I'll bet on it.
Look, I'm just being logical right now.
Oh my God.
He probably didn't make it. I hate to say
Damn,
it.
Bert, you could have a little
It's the
faith.
truth.
What about you?
Jesus.
Yeah, he's
Saul told me that he
quick,
saved
quick,
you.
he's hardcore.
When Angel
Quick to
thought you
give
weren't
up
going
on
to
the
make it,
situation
but here you
there.
are.
I probably didn't make it.
And Lizzie has a good point.
How
Like
can you
they
leave
didn't
him
give
out
up on
there
him.
when you don't
Yeah.
even know?
I could barely drive where I'm going as it is. Let
But
alone see well
in all
enough to do
survival
any good with
situations,
Shirley
you have
right
to
now.
protect
Then we
yourself.
go back in the morning.
Because if they
I
went
just,
right now and tried
I
and
just
got
have to
him,
know.
they could have risked their own lives unnecessarily.
Yeah, I guess I owe him that
When
much.
realistically, I mean, even if they did get the Saul, they probably couldn't get him out of there.
He's not dead.
So
I just know it.
Look at that, Lizzie.
she knows.
I don't know what you're feeling.
There
right
is
I
a
always liked
bond
that character.
from the beginning
I
with
like
you
that
two.
character, yeah.
There's nothing else you can do.
Something like that.
When Shirley was passing, that was what was going on with me. No
You know
matter
who
what we
inspired
tried,
Shirley? My grandmother.
I couldn't do the fighting
yeah.
for her.
She was
Just
one of my
sat back
main
and
inspirations
watched
for
it
doing
all
audio dramas.
happen.
Like, I used to work in a
Doesn't make me feel
audio
any
bookstore.
better.
She got me that job when
Shirley
I was like
left.
15.
That's really
Wow.
And
just me.
I was in there, and I
I'm trying to
worked,
say
you know,
is
behind the counter. She would come in all the time. She
you're not
checked out
alone.
all these audiobooks, and she just
No
listened to
matter what
books on tape
happens,
incessantly.
You're not
So
alone.
when I moved in with her
Thanks,
when I
Bert.
got back from Iraq because it was hard
No
for me to
problem,
transition
Blondie.
back home, and so she would play audiobooks at night, non-stop while I was home, and like she just loved the medium. So I just was getting exposed to it. And then, so later on, I wish she would have been able to experience this because she would have
That's so
absolutely
cool.
loved all this stuff.
That's so cool.
So she kind of got me my start in all of it, and we ended up at that bookstore. I got cast in an
just
audio
leave.
drama
I didn't.
from somebody and got my first exposure in
either.
the world.
Oh, wow. How
That's
cool.
Sun's just peeking up.
Yeah, she was one of the
Ready?
best storytellers out there. She was just an amazing person. So everything I do is a lot of dedication to my grandma Carol. And she passed of lung cancer right before I left for Iraq, and
It's just up ahead.
she was the transition when I got back
got
from the
it.
Army training, and she passed right before I left for Iraq. So that was the transition.
Is it
Shit.
many days, like dedicated to her?
God.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
There's not
Like,
much left
if
of
you
the
look-
hybrid, is there?
Saul.
Here, this is
You knew it was a possibility.
I actually was able to.
Now I know.
That was
Give it a quick pause when we're talking about this.
sure, that makes sense. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, there's my little forward to her right there. She was a huge inspiration in why I even got involved in any of it. Just inadvertently, was always just supportive of it, and kind of was a start. I mean, and Blair will be like, "Well, you have so many stories about how you got involved in this." I was like, "Yeah, because everything contributes to one." But she definitely was a huge
awesome.
influence for me.
Talking Book World.
Yeah, Talking Book World was the name.
Sounds like a store I would go into.
Yeah.
Talking Book
They used to sell like subscriptions for like $360 a year, and you could just take out as many tapes as you want because they were all tapes, literal tapes.
Wow.
There was no digital distribution back then, and then like obviously Audible came online, and everything kind of changed from then.
Now it's blown up. So.
Yeah, now you can get everything, but back then it was crazy. I got a lot of exposure to a lot of books on tape in the beginning. So cool. Little aside.
Must be.
Lady?
Now hold on, damn it.
Now to bring everybody down.
Lady, here, girl.
Oh, that's inspiring.
I don't need her
Wait.
in there. That thing's a mangled wreck. Now how the hell are we gonna... Wait. What's that smell?
It's the whiskey.
So now
Here,
we get
help
another
me.
little rule of their world. A little one.
There's a tire iron in the rig. Hold on.
It amazes
slide back
me
the
that
door
Bert
on the
has the
hinge.
strength to do this, but he's a
Looks
weak
like
human
it's about to
person,
fall off
like,
anyway.
Almost like he's finding superhuman strength to save somebody.
Well, you got some leverage with a crowbar. He's just prying. that's
Lady?
all he's doing. He could be.
You're
No,
alive.
I guess he's not kicking. I would have done a kickdown.
But she's not the only one. Son of a bitch.
Saul.
Boy, you're a fucking miracle.
Bert, I don't think he's conscious.
Let's get him out of there. Wedge that
That's
tire
the
iron
best.
against there, and I'll pull him out.
I just imagine cut to Saul.
Man, sound design's really good.
Saul.
It's
Saul, can
weird.
you hear me?
There's so many sound effects for crashes and stuff like that. Like that's almost the easiest stuff to find.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like the
Oh.
weird stuff is like the subtle things, like
easy.
tapping on a window, super hard to find.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when, early in the episode,
Is-
when Bert's
is
like hitting his
Lady
head on
okay?
glass,
She's
it's literally
fine,
like
she's
hitting my head on
okay.
glass.
Don't know what I would have done. With
Also hard to find. Cup on table.
Well, it was
I mean,
Very
Simple stuff like
difficult.
that.
and lady.
It's the simple actions that you have to just fully.
For a while there, I was wondering if you were coming back.
well.
Yeah, because you're like, well, I'm
We
stuck
thought,
in
you
here.
know, that you were a goner.
So did I.
What happened?
I don't know. They all piled on the hybrid and started breaking through. I emptied my rifle, but they kept coming. Ah!
Oh, you're back. You're bleeding.
Oh, that. You mind pulling that out, Bert? Ow!
Ow.
Glass?
Yeah, I sort of landed on your bottle of Middleton. Thanks.
Because that would be the glass.
I
that would
think
cut
there
you
are a
in the
few
car.
more pieces back there, too, if you want to pull them out.
I'm just so glad you're safe.
So they just left you?
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. You guys didn't come at all last night?
No, we pulled over off the road up there until dawn.
All I remember is falling to the floorboards in the back seat, holding Lady. Next thing I know, they left.
Maybe they gave up. You were mangled pretty deep.
I don't care how or why it happened,
This
but
is the
it
first
did.
clue of like
Now let's just get the hell out of here.
something to the rules of them,
Here, I'll help you.
and also clues for
Thanks.
something else that happens in the next
I think I
chapter.
could walk on my own. Just scraped up is all. I think I got glass in my ass crack. See?
It's not a
Now you
Saw
get me.
moment without a good
Took all
little
that,
funny
but
aside.
now you get me.
You're growing on me. Maybe just a little.
I'm like a weed. Pretty soon you'll be all tangled up in me.
I love that line. It's one of my favorite
Hey,
Saw
why did you
lines.
wonder if we were here last night?
It's so true.
I could have sworn
He does
in
grow
the
on
middle
people.
of the night I heard voices. I don't know. I was pretty out of it.
Wait, are those voices the voices of?
Can I have it
Humans?
back, please?
Oh, I didn't
I
even
think you
realize
deserve
that.
it.
Oh, how
Yeah, that's the foreshadowing for the next episode.
Just wake me up when we get there.
I'm gonna listen to it tonight, so don't worry about it.
You're just teasing him to listen to Noor.
Maybe not tonight.
There's
but
your
soon.
The
Pavan.
guitar?
The Saltar.
Pavan. This is the name of the piece.
After all was said and done, I could say we were successful. It seemed like everything didn't go as smooth as we wanted, but we didn't lose anybody. For all I knew, our mission was a complete success. I didn't really know at the time how wrong I was.
That lets you know that he wrote this journal later, in some instances. It's a kind of the fun thing where you got to listen to the
Join us
perspective
again
at
Monday
different
for the next
times
episode of We're Alive.
when a journal is actually written. Which actually, I have something fun to share with you that I have
Now,
never
a word from
shared.
our sponsors.
Before you get into that, I just want to note one thing. Another way I knew that Saul wasn't going to die is that he wrote the chapter, and I knew he would have to finish the chapter because otherwise, why would he be narrating the first one?
That is a very,
That
very
is
good point.
actually a really good point.
Yeah. But here's the thing. What if he was writing it in the middle of his journey, which does actually happen?
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
So there are.
But then the story would have stopped.
That's right.
So we would have
That
half
would
an
have been
episode.
that would have been very
So-
George R. Martin.
So to say
Just
that
like,
we-
oh my God, we're not.
And then I went back to get Lady. And blank
Just to
pages.
say we actually do that one time in the future.
What? You whispered it into the headphones.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Covering your mouth doesn't stop me from hearing it, Casey. You're a sound guy.
Mouth it to me.
For some reason, I
Yeah,
didn't
I like it.
connect. Okay.
Good job.
So this is the first journal,
Oh wow.
and it's from 2002. It's my military journal.
Wow.
So this was my original military journal that I had. This was from basic training actually.
Do they issue this to you guys?
No, this was a present from my friend who actually I went to the wedding on
is
this
that from?
weekend
Oh,
from
cool.
Nikki in 2002. So she just got married this weekend in Hawaii, and I was like, that's weird timing that this book all of a sudden came up right after their wedding. But
Pops up.
no, but that was the concept is coming from that, where sometimes you do have to just like at the end of the day release everything, and it was very a good way to get past everything. And so that's sort of like was one of the inspirations of you could just do it like a journal, or as Michael calls them, a log, but I call mine a log. Yeah.
Very
Little slight aside from there. That's
awesome.
Well, Brian, I know you have some special goodies.
I do, but I need to get them loaded up.
Oh, okay.
Because they're on the Dropbox, and I don't know if I can get to it from the laptop.
Oh, okay. You go. You can try if you need to log in or anything. Go ahead and do that now. I guess we can kind of.
Yeah, keep going.
You know what we could do? We could play our game in the meantime.
Sure.
Am I gonna pick something?
And we also have some questions coming from the fans as well. But I figure we can do this first. It's kind of like an enticement. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn around.
Well, obviously,
Matter of fact,
you know.
Go ahead and put that one back in.
Where do I put it at? Exactly. You know.
Well, I'll put it back.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good point.
So go. I'll just turn around.
There we go.
And let you get whatever one you want.
Where is Dropbox on here?
Do you want me to go outside? Do you
or will
want
it not
to be
see?
outside for
you
this?
looking for the Google Drive?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. I always confuse the two because I use both.
Just go to Chrome and type in Drive and all.
Do you want me to be outside for this game? Do you think I should go out?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
So what does Blair actually do?
So what she does is
passive?
she picks a page out of at random, and then she reads like one or two dialogue lines and sees if I can get it, and then if I can't get it, she'll go to a third line.
Okay.
Just watch out for spoilers. Yeah, da, da, da.
When you're looking at a script so micro, it's hard to get spoilers.
And then that person died. No! One line spoiler.
You should be able to get this. I think you'll be able to get this.
All right.
Really. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right.
You got one.
The line. Should I give you the page number?
Oh,
You'll know the page number.
I don't page numbers. I'm not a savant.
All right, here we go. Jambalaya. Which one am I eating again? If you can't tell, I don't think you're reading it to you. Well, hold up. If you can't tell, I don't think reading it to you would change that. You gonna eat your lemon bread? It's yours.
Oh, this is a hard one. Ooh, I'm fans. I mean,
there's a delay.
Oh, there's a delay, so we'll see what comes up. Okay, so if it is the MREs, and it's jambalaya, I'm gonna say that this is definitely season 3. If this is going to be after the helicopter has landed.
Okay, I'm gonna go outside now.
Oh.
Bye, y'all. I'll be back in a day.
Hi, Grant. He's like, oh no.
Crap.
Yes.
So chapter. It's either okay. So, it's either gonna be chapter 37 or 38. I'm gonna go with no. Third season. Third season would be 24. So it'll be 25 or 26. So. Who 25 or 26? Gonna go with.
Dang, you got some smart fans that are getting this before you are.
26.
25.
25. Oh, it's a 50-50 chance.
Strength.
That's season 3 though, right?
Yeah, it is season 3.
Yeah. They say before Riley gets shit-faced.
Yeah.
Episode where they're in the field after the plane.
I couldn't remember if the plane landed.
Wow,
or
the fans
landed
got that fast.
Yeah.
Dang,
That's
good
so
job,
impressive.
guys. Yeah,
All right, Graham, you can come back in, bro.
Return, Graham.
It's safe, Graham.
For now.
That was pretty good.
That was impressive, though. That you.
Did you get it?
He was off. He was off.
I was one off.
He was close though.
Epic fail.
Yeah, the fans got it.
Fans are
We
great.
might have to do that again sometime. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, maybe that'll be a
I can't believe the fans got that fast. Wow.
Yeah,
Because the fans are dope. That's why.
Well, I mean, also a word like jambalaya. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, that's just such
yeah.
a trigger word. Like, how often?
I'm triggered.
And to be honest, this doesn't give anything away for Graham, but this is just a section in the story where they eat an MRE, which is a meal ready to eat, and I remember recording it with the actors. So that was fun.
Didn't you bring an MRE once? I remember you brought a couple of.
I wanted y'all to try it.
Yeah, and it was gross.
Very nice.
Is that like astronaut ice cream? Is that part of that?
No, that's actually good stuff. No,
I like
the stuff
astronaut
they
ice
feed the
cream.
military is more like
Dog food?
Kinda, because it's meant to last forever, which means it's neither like fresh nor old.
Nor food.
So it's everything that they sell at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Oh, 7-Eleven would be a step up.
Hey, those buffalo wings at 7-Eleven are no joke though.
Put it like
So
this,
good.
I was super excited to finally like eat a pizza that had hot dogs as pepperoni sliced into it.
Yeah.
That was like the best thing. Like
That's got a name, right? That's called shit.
But that was something that they made locally in Iraq, actually. And we're like, we're gonna eat that over an MRE. It was so much better.
I feel like that's actually a thing though that has like a name. You know, like a Juicy Lucy is like a hamburger with like cheese in it. Like a hot dog pizza has like a name. I can't remember what it is. Fans, if you know what a hot dog pizza is,
I think it's just a hot dog pizza.
no, I'd eat it though. I'd eat a hot dog pizza.
Not a hot pocket. That's just a hot pocket.
Yeah.
Reminds me of weenie burgers from Animaniacs or Tiny Toons. It's like weenie burgers. It's like it's a hot dog in a hamburger bun. And weenie burgers, so much fun to eat. They really are a treat.
All right, so I got 9 bloopers total.
Oh,
nice.
So that means that Blair had about 6 and Sky had 3. So
I'm not sure if they're all. Is there any kind of a language rating?
No, we don't have any. I mean, I've been saying fuck all time, so.
Yeah, I hope not.
If I just play this, I think it'll work. So.
Okay.
Let's fucking do it.
I don't know. I don't know if they're all awesome, so some of them might be like, okay.
That's
They're
okay. Hey,
all awesome.
the fans have never heard them, so they're all awesome to them, I guess.
I think these are.
And I haven't heard them probably for since the beginning at least.
I don't think I've. I mean, I probably was there doing them.
Yeah. That's why I love like listening to these is because they're new
We
here.
were rolling fine until someone left his car keys.
I'd make a big comment, but I won't. I'm gonna be nice to you.
Is that Michael?
Yeah.
You guys.
Are you taking off, man?
I'm out.
See you, Jimmy.
Bye. We'll see you
I'd
later.
like to be able
good,
to
brother.
say that it's been fun.
Hey, send me an email when those when it airs, Hawthorne and Mentalist.
Screw that. I mean, okay.
What a nice guy. What a nice guy, that James.
He's a fucking asshole. What are you talking about? Get him the fuck
Prima
outta here.
donna.
No shit. Just because he's got most of the lines, most of the voiceovers, like everything's his.
It's alright, we've got a whole episode, guys. This whole episode is us.
Talk about me, wanna talk about
I want to talk about
number one.
Oh,
That's
my,
first
me,
normal
my,
voice.
Think what I like,
Wow.
what I know, what I want, what I see.
You,
He sounds just like Blair.
usually, but occasionally.
Oh, that's him.
I wanna talk about me.
Wait, I'm sure I had no clue what was going because I still don't have any clue what they were singing.
Oh, they're singing.
That's Shania Twain, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to play that part again? We'll be quiet for this so you can hear it.
I'm sure the my teen voice,
Keys.
face was like, oh.
Are you taking off, man?
I don't know if I can
See you,
jump
Jimmy.
to it.
Bye. We'll see you
I'd like to
later.
be able
Be good,
to
brother.
say that it's been.
Oh yeah.
Hey, send me an email when those when it airs, Hawthorne and Mentalist.
Screw that. I mean, okay.
What a nice guy. What a nice guy, that James.
He's a fucking asshole. What are you talking about? Get him the fuck
Prima
outta here.
donna.
No shit. Just because he's got most of the lines, most of the voiceovers, like everything's his.
It's alright, we've got a whole episode, guys. This whole episode is us.
I wanna talk about me, wanna talk about
I want to talk about number one. Oh, my, me, my. What I think, what I like, what I know, what I want, what I see.
You usually, but occasionally. I wanna talk about me.
So Blair knows 2 songs.
Wait, what is this?
It's a country song.
Yeah.
I want to talk about me. Want to talk about. I want to talk about some country song. I've heard it.
The chat window would know. The
I've
chat
heard
window's
it.
gonna know.
I've heard it.
All right, okay.
I've heard it.
All right.
I like that one.
I
That was
believe
good.
you.
I
They
think
sung
it's-
it.
I think it's Shania Twain.
It exists.
Yeah.
You rehearsed before that recording session?
A nice little Prius.
Yeah. I'm the inspiration behind that.
The Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
She was the inspiration for the Prius.
All right.
Toyota.
It's her car.
All right.
This one's a little weird too. This is Lizzie again.
So really kind of take your time when you say it.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, I'm Lizzie.
He agrees.
said
You
yeah.
gave the direction, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'll read my line like that.
Yeah, I'll do it. Damn it. I caught that too the second time. So why did I answer that?
That and cat sucks. That and cat suck.
Cat sucks.
It's just kind of a
Well, that was
That
it.
was it. Okay. I guess that was my skills.
That was just showing that you can screw up.
Oh, we know. Oh, trust me.
Maybe you're just a little one.
Oh, nothing about me is little.
And there you go, ruining it.
Come on, man. Come on.
That was her line.
I couldn't help. I couldn't help. I'm sorry.
That was such a fun day.
Ah.
That was a fun day.
Oh no, I really screwed up. I hate my leg.
Script hit the floor. Oh man, those were such fun days. The original cast was such a family.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
It really was a great time.
Yeah, man. It's a shame that they kill off
I was
Saul
thinking
after
we could stop
season
off
2,
at a
man.
Motel
It's a
6
shame.
along the way
It's a
home.
It's a shame, bummer.
Bummer.
Good thing they're bringing his twin brother Saul with the same name to record later.
I was thinking.
Okay, sorry, Brian.
No, that's all right. This one was quick. This is just Saul goofing off.
I was thinking we could stop off at a Motel 6 along the way home.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah, I was definitely in the booth at this time. I wasn't on the floor with the actors.
Yeah.
I loved making that transition. That was such a good.
The zombies come. Oh, Mrs. Zombie, didn't know you wanted the threesome. Oh, yeah.
What is going on?
I think you're trying to rope Lizzie and a zombie into something.
Well, I mean, now that I know that zombies poop, like, I mean,
Wait, what? Don't think about that too.
No. We don't need to go down that avenue.
It's like
That road's closed.
slip sliding away.
Cause you know I'm tripping. Cause you know Casey's a flipping. Talking about pancakes. Blow me, boys.
Okay, Scott.
That was a pretty typical session.
All right, yeah, that sounds about
And we got one more.
Me and Scott used to have a lot of fun. Like, we had a lot of fun.
He's doing what you're doing now. He's like, his kids have graduated high school and like they're over 18 and they're like doing fine on their own. He's like, bye, and he's just going on. He's going on an adventure now.
Oh, go for Scott, man.
Yeah, he's like going over the
Wait,
the country.
Nico's 18?
Yeah.
It's not Nico, right? Was his name?
Yeah, they're all 18 and graduated now.
Wow.
And they got actually Nico is engaged. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, Tommy's engaged now. The world keeps spinning.
Oh, that
Take
was
that,
his son?
Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Nico
know that.
Marvin, the guy who plays Tommy, was Bert's son.
I didn't know that.
Well, not in the story, but in real life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Last one.
I've watched him grow up over the years. He's gotten much older, obviously.
Bring on that chick with the European voice. We're gonna be doing some banging tonight. Come on, Shirley. I'm gonna stuff you right up Michael's ass.
Yeah.
Hey, Cheryl. Don't mind if I stuff you up Michael's ass. Pompous bastard.
Yeah, Bert had a lot of fun on set. He was. I think at times he was like, what can I get away with him? Can I go a little further? Yes, I can.
He definitely was the jokester. I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
all made jokes though, all the time.
Oh, that was the fun of it. Like because we saw everybody like every other month.
Yeah.
It was
So
like-
it was always fun to just, and then like it's just inherently fun. It's play.
Yeah, definitely, isn't it? Like I do miss that element of it because even with lockdown, like we recorded it all in one batch, and so it's sometimes good to do that. But I do want to get back to the mode of like recording every other month serialized way. That'd be fun.
I would imagine it allows you the space to evolve.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
did.
Block recording probably is more advantageous to getting something done quicker, but I would imagine that.
Especially when I was developing you guys, it was like it let me figure out a lot as we went, rather than doing like lockdown was so self-contained. It made sense to do it that way. But yeah, so I want to I want to get back to that a little bit with the next series that I'll be working on. So.
Dope.
Yeah, something I found in audio drama is like you can write to the talent.
Yeah.
You know, and the workflow is such that when you have something like We're Alive had for years, where like it reaches a point where the actors are in the writer's head, not just the initial imagined characters.
You've you know, you're like a weed, just growing on you.
Get entangled, man.
Yeah.
Get tangled in.
Tangled up in you.
Tangled up.
That's it, man. I misquoted myself.
It's all good.
Well, awesome. I know we got some major cool questions coming along for part 3 here. Let's go ahead and jump into those now.
We're actually going to ask the questions this time, not just pretend to.
Which means I need to grab my microphone.
Yeah,
over
what we
here.
do is we slate them and then we record them all at the end. So that way.
Yeah, so it sounds like we did 3, but we really just
and that way also
recorded
people can
once.
ask questions as we go and.
Yeah,
so.
I got you.
Let me see. How do I want to do this? I want to save all the spoilery questions for the end so we can send
Oh
Graham
yeah, so we
out.
can send Graham home.
Send him home.
Well,
let me see.
Yeah.
DeHaventon, username DeHaventon, which is a pretty cool name.
Mr. Wilson.
Says has 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any audio files of Nate reading lines for Michael?
There are.
The audition?
I have your audition somewhere.
Oh, how bad was I?
You were great. You just weren't Michael. That was the difference. Like, it was one of those things where, like, the minute I heard you,
I
like,
really, really worked hard on that audition, man.
I know you wanted to be the leader, but I was like, I saw you as something better.
Follow up.
I saw you as something much, much better.
Follow up to that.
And you had to trust me on that. It
I
worked
mean,
out.
we're not trying to ruin any spoiler shit, but he saw me as something better. Just want you to know that.
Okay.
Just want you to know that.
Yeah, I think Saul, right?
Well,
I'm guessing.
Honestly, it was like now we look back on it, it's like it was a no-brainer. But back then it was like it was a hard decision because honestly, like we got a majority of everyone from that first session.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I remember going in. I remember who auditioned right before me was it Manly? Manly auditioned right before me. I think I was one of the last people on that day that I went because I was running super late.
I think I still have your original headshot too.
Oh God. Oh God.
With the black tank top.
Oh God. Oh yeah. That's not.
I kept all of everyone's original like
all their
stuff when they first it's sitting in the drawer back there. I don't throw anything away.
Just sitting in the drawer. And then his second question is actually more of a request. Nate, can you give us a sample of you rapping?
Oh man. Oh wow.
You want a mic?
I would feel like I would be doing a disservice. That's not worth it, but I'll keep going and trying because I don't want to leave my fans high and drying. So I hope that works. What was his name? Shanti. It was a really cool name. The Hazelton?
The Haventon.
The Haventon. My man. I lost it.
He's like, I'll keep going. I'll keep going.
Actually, I mean, I haven't rapped in so long. I feel like I would embarrass myself.
How long has it been since you've rapped?
I mean,
what day of the week is it? Yeah.
you know, I just do it. I mean, I was never really that much of a freestyler, but you know, I mean, I could. Wait, you know what? I'll. There's a little. Let me think. Let me try to go back into my head. I'll come back. I'll come back.
Okay, we'll postpone the rapping. I think you addressed this. This is one of Damien's questions. Is the dog we hear actually a puggle?
No.
For lady? It's not a puggle.
It's a terrier, yeah. It's one of those things where like I had access to that dog, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna use this dog. But nowadays, I would definitely not. I would try to get something that's more accurate because I listen to it and I'm like, that's definitely not a puggle. But I mean. I rarely anybody's ever given me crap about it, to be honest.
But like, how different would the puggle sound? I mean,
it's
more snouty.
Yeah.
It is more snouty.
They do that like mouth breathe.
It's less yippy.
Mouth breather dog.
Less yippy. It's probably a little bit lower. Yeah. So all dogs sound different. Like
And they all go to heaven.
Like a long time ago, I like worked with somebody with a vet. Like you could tell what a dog was just by the bark. Like she could anyway.
So she was the dog whisperer.
Kinda, yeah.
Whoa.
Says Emilian, the dog whisperer.
Another Damien question. Saul says he sketched the layout of the ambush area. Did you, Nate, ever actually do that?
No, actually, going in, I think the only questions that I would ever come to Casey with was like geography questions, because I didn't always understand like, and it's so weird because blocking is a difficult thing, you know, in video recording for a performer, but it's extremely like, you want to at least find, because I'd be like, okay, wait, where are we at? What are we doing? Like, what's the space here? And especially because we tried to, at times, Casey was very physical at times, to recreating the actual sounds of it. So no, I don't think I wrote a map though, but I know one of my favorite posters of We're Alive was the actual map that we had after first season. That was brilliant. Like, and that helped me sort of locate everything.
The geography of it all.
Yeah, a lot better.
Which, if anybody's interested, is actually on our store. The We're Alive map.
Dude, that map is so awesome.
So yeah, I definitely. I plan on releasing more maps in the future as the world expands.
I'm excited for that. I'm a map head too.
Because California's a great map, but there are other states we can talk about.
Yeah.
Someone's got to keep this map thing alive. Now that you said that they're not even
Yeah.
putting maps anymore,
It's a
I feel like this is
thing.
like where my life is calling me right
Cartographer.
Cartographer.
Retro cartographer. Old school.
Just take off a hand.
I mean, they brought back, vinyl.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can bring back Thomas Guides.
Somebody can bring back maps.
Yeah.
Please.
Everyone's like vinyl audiophiles say it's like so much better. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's
There's
good.
a hiss. I'm sorry. There's a hiss, but I get it. The truest. And every time you listen to it, it actually gets worse.
This is a question, another Damien question. I'm just gonna go in order from what they submitted. Was Shirley a better shot than Bert?
Yeah, she was. She was a competition shooter. She was an actual sportsman, whereas Bert was took a lot of lessons from her. So Bert was pretty good in the military. He was a cannon cocker, artillery, did fine, but she was really much better than him.
And that's Shirley's gun.
It was her gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hand cannon.
Even
Desert
maybe
Eagle?
some of his obsession with guns may have come from her.
Oh.
Which, that might be an interesting thing. Think of if Bert's that much of a gun nut, how much was she? Excuse me.
There you go.
Shirley was really cool.
Paula Plash says Saul's ethnicity was never really described in the series. Was that intentional?
Yeah, it was. A lot of ethnicities. Why?
I never even thought about that.
Gender, sexuality, and sometimes skin color. I was like, let the listener fill in.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because it's why. I mean, that's like there are characters in this that are there are main characters that are homosexual that we don't. I mean, I try to make it as obvious as possible for people who are like, well, we need to know. Well, fine, I'll give you a little bit more as we go. But really, it was one of those things where it's like,
we demand
why?
an answer.
Why do we have to dwell on it? Because
I mean, all that stuff wouldn't even really matter in survival.
No, it wouldn't.
the only thing that matters, okay, are you a good shot? Are you going to follow?
Are you
the
on our
rules?
side or theirs?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, humans shouldn't be on their side. I'm just saying. I mean, you should just be legitimately on our side. I mean, they're dead.
Well,
they're not dead.
I'm talking about there might be.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
But I will say.
You might not know.
I don't know.
In the story, though, I did know that Saul. Actually, I just had your background.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, I remember getting the midway through the first season. You had those sketches of us, and it was just me holding like a gun, and I was like, oh, and that was like my little avatar for forever.
But oh yeah. There was one that was modeled after you, but there was actually one previous to that.
Was it?
Because your character was actually modeled after somebody that I knew in the military.
Did he have glasses?
He did wear goggles.
Yeah, okay. I do remember that. Yes, I do remember that.
And you were modeled after him because he was in my unit, and I kid you not, the guy was so gung ho about everything.
That's
like
awesome.
It wasn't Saul, but it was like like, we're doing some push-ups. All right, let's do some push-ups. Get down. Like, he'd just get really tons of energy. And he'd be like, y'all up here for the gun show? And he just like, that's what he did, like all the time.
I love
Like,
shots
and
of
I'm
Jack.
like, guys,
I love
just
it.
please,
I love
put
it.
a towel on. We're in the shower. This is not the time for this.
That's great.
So, yeah, no, he was that's
Well,
where
I
it
put
came
my
from.
own spin on that.
You brought it down to the more realistic level because I was like, he's too much of a character to put in this.
He's too heightened of reality.
Don't
Put in
believe
a
that.
fictional podcast. Let me see. Cat E over in the live stream chat says, Nate, what are you up to now?
A lot of writing myself. Wait, is Cat?
Cat E.
Cat E.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's the name that I have in here.
But is it Cat with an E?
K-A-T, and then
a big
E
E
is the last name.
Oh, I like it. Okay. Yeah, a lot of writing. Actually, I just shot my first little directing thing. I did a nice little short film.
Oh.
Which was really cool. Yeah, we're in post production. Something I wrote and directed, and cast, which was fun, and I got a chance to write it. It was the first time I ever been the person in charge, and oh man, what a learning experience.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah, it was definitely. It was a shit show. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was a total shit show. Like it was only.
How long was it?
It was 2 days. We prepped for about a week. It was 2 days of production. We prepped for a week. I mean, I've been working on the script since May. And we shot it earlier this month, actually.
Oh, cool.
Wait, no. Is this October?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We shot it last month.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. We shot it last month. And
It's October.
Damn near November.
it was a 2-day shoot. The first day was a nightmare, but the second day we actually finished the first day like 4 hours behind, and then the second
Where'd
day.
you go?
We were here. It was shot up in Van Nuys, indoor location, but of course there's all types of things that could go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
and it went wrong.
How long was it? How long was it?
The film now we just got a rough cut of it. It's about 6 minutes, which is good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Enough for people could digest.
yeah, it'll be nice and fun. I mean, I'm a very big critic of my own work, but it was definitely cool and to see people say my words. I definitely want to chat with you about that too, about like how that moment of having people embody your creations is both. It's thrilling because you're like, yes, this is actually not just in my head. It's like it's there, and then it's also excruciating because you're like, no, this isn't quite what I saw in my head. This isn't what I.
The compromise.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where you want it to be, and then where it is, and then.
And just living with that is such a unique thing. But it's something that I truly enjoy and looking forward to doing more of that.
Please share, and if you share with us, we will share with
I will
all of you.
Everyone.
I will definitely do that. Hopefully
Yeah.
we'll get it. I'm actually meeting up with a composer this week.
Oh, nice.
To put some music to it, and
Ew.
we have to add some stuff in After Effects. But I'm hoping to get it done by the end of next month.
Oh,
We'll be
awesome.
finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the minute it's done, we will share it with you via phone,
Awesome,
video,
yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
a whole new sort of thing. And then also I got cast in another film, a guy that I worked with before, a writer-director named Craig Jesson. I did a film of his called A Theory of Time Travel, or Promise of Time Travel, and then he just, they're in production now, and I'm in for a little bit of it. It's called Beyond Methuselah, so.
Methuselah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear you doing more. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Like when we last talked, you were like, I think there was a time where you're like, do maybe you were like, didn't want to do as much acting.
Well, I mean, the my story with acting has been such a unique, beautiful thing, and it's not something that I've stopped. It's just that I've put a little bit more focus into the writing and the producing parts of it. But yeah, I mean, I try to do something like every year, acting wise. I mean, there's going to be another full push for me to do stuff. I know that I have it inside of me. I just lately I wanted to sort of get more, because I love creating, man. This is not play, dude.
It's an itch.
Play.
It's an itch. You have to like. I'm the same way. It's like if I go too long without writing something, or it's like I will go crazy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It just comes out of your pores.
Yeah, well, that's I don't know how you felt, because I don't know, like, have you ever, you said you got cast in the audio drama from the store. But like, have you ever thought about directing yourself in some of your?
I just did it.
Holy
like 2 weeks ago.
shnikes! How was that?
Tough. Matter of fact, I just did. It's on our.
Was that
we
the
should have a link.
Raven?
Yeah, the Raven. So I just
Mhm.
did a dramatic reading of Edgar Allan Poe,
dope.
and that was tough.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to myself and I'm like, that's shit. That's shit.
Yeah.
Redo that one, and then I was like, just every little aspect of it, just divulging into it and figuring it out. But I'm also like, I want to do more now.
Yeah, I can
Like
see that.
I had so much fun doing it, and I'm like, I want to do the Telltale Heart now and the Cask of
that's so
Amontillado.
dope.
Like I really
That's so
like.
dope.
I had so much fun doing it that I'm like, let me just do this more and more because it's one of those things where I've always relied on other people to fill the voices in. We're literally like, I'm in this room and I set the microphone up here and I went between the computer and the microphone and just did the whole
Just
thing.
done. That's dope.
And I'm like, all right, I'm done, and I just did it in my one room and I'm ready to go.
That's dope. Yeah,
So-
I mean that's one of the things that I learned from, or I felt when I was doing the directing of the short. I was like, man, like, I mean, I cast other people, but like I was like, yeah, I think the next time I do one of these directing things, I'm gonna try that sort of, you know, try to direct it while performing, and it was seemed too daunting at first, but when you're there, you're like, no, actually, I could do this.
Yeah.
You could do it. You have to be really connected with it. and
Yeah,
know it well.
yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't direct anybody's stuff, other stuff. I would only direct something that I wrote.
I always
in that
recommend
sense.
if like somebody's doing the acting directing, like if they haven't done a lot, it's like always like just have a AD for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, it's just like you can't.
Yeah, no,
focus.
there's no. I mean, even with, I had an AD on this shoot, and I'm glad I had her because she was phenomenal. Because there's so much that I missed easily. I realized I am really not that great at attention to detail. I am a big bigger picture person.
First AD is
Yeah.
absolutely crucial if you actually want to make a film.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
The sometimes you can also be drugged down by the details too. So and like not get a shot done because if somebody's like trying to adjust that one light for like 12
no,
hours.
we went through that. Like our first shot took 17 takes. That's just was retarded.
Getting warmed up, getting into it. But
That's true.
I mean, I'm stoked to see it. I'm excited.
I'm gonna be super happy. I'll share the link as soon as I get it with you, man. Bro. Yeah, I'm super excited, man. It's something new for me. So.
All right, I have a few more questions for you, but Graham, you need to leave.
Okie dokie.
I'm sorry, Graham.
It's all good.
We'll make it quick. There's only a couple.
Oh, it's cool outside. It's hot in here, so.
Oh, he's
I
the
know.
Way to
Like,
make us
I'm
feel
gonna
bad about
go.
ourselves.
He's the one who's actually getting a little bit better.
Jeez, man.
We're releasing him from his prison. Let me see. Okay. He's gone. So Alex Hall says, in your last scene with Lizzie, what did you do to make it sound so authentic? It's one of the most perfectly executed audio scenes ever.
Man, that whole session was intense.
Mm-hmm.
I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, that whole session was intense.
Have you seen we have photos from it, and like
No,
you see everyone's faces, and it's like the emotional connection with the material was.
Oh no, I vividly remember. I remember the lights being down. I remember us. Oh yeah, no. I for me in that moment, one, it was very easy to just sort of place, because I had already developed a working relationship with Blair, and the character itself, very very much in touch with it. But
like adding.
The other mic is sitting here,
like
so I was worried about you getting like.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I also like petting it, adding noise.
but I remember thinking very much about my sisters. And I think that I'm not always the biggest believer for performer use substitution, but in that sort of situation, I just thought about like the people that I cared about the most, and that's what made me sort of deep dive into a place to be. It was fun, like that was truly fun because who asked the question again?
Alex Hall. On
Alex
Twitter.
Hall. I was nervous as hell before the recording.
Really?
I remember thinking to myself, I was like, "Oh man, I hope I don't fuck this up." Like that would really suck. Like if I would, not delivered at this point in time. Because when I finally found out where it was going, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. This is great. Oh shit, I got to do that."
This is so
Yeah, because
stinks.
you didn't know that
No, I
she
didn't.
was
No.
you found out in the script, didn't you?
Yeah. You never once told me you said there's big things. Don't worry. And I would always complain like, you know what, Casey, you better make sure like whatever happens, it's dope, man. Don't worry, it'll be dope. Trust me, it'll be really good.
Well, it's like it's one of those things where like if I'd have to tell every actor every little detail of all that would happen, or I just let you guys discover it on your own. And the self-discovery is kind of like where the emotional
that's
come
the fun.
out.
That's the fun. That's the fun. No, I was so glad that I got it that way. I remember my girlfriend at the time. We had since broken up, but I had to tell her, I was like, "Yo, babe, Saul dies." She's like, "No, that's so cool." You're right.
That is pretty cool, huh? Another Damon question because he's in the live chat and is interacting with us. What was your favorite scene to record?
Of all time?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, my favorite scene to record. I'm not gonna lie, like the most fun, probably because it was a little bit after I got back and I was really feeling the character. Like a lot of my favorite scenes were the beginning ones, but also the ones with Victor and Constance. Those were so brilliant.
You had there was your triad. You had another triad.
And I love this the Scott and the Blair ones, but there was just a really good instant chemistry. I remember the very first thing with Constance where I had just met her. Casey goes, "Okay, now you guys are fighting," and we were like legitimately, it were like sort of like hugging, fighting, or so sort of sitting. And I was like, I don't know this girl, but okay. And she was game, and we were sharing a mic, and we were just going. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, cool, let's do this.
Nice.
Yeah, that was I remember because Constance came in with such intensity.
Yeah,
like
man.
She was
CJ.
She was CJ to a T. And
she was CJ.
CJ, I don't. That character is my favorite character in the entire series. Like I had waited so long.
She's money
for her to come out. Like she is in this episode. Not in it in its own way, but like in chapter 5, that's her team.
That's her voices. Yeah,
that's her team of people. She was already working through the story in her own way. And failing at what she was doing in the story, and it's just like, she's just, and her road is not complete, and we're alive either. Like
I didn't realize that. I thought it was the prisoners. I thought it was the Maulers.
That is the prisoners, but the ambush site. That was her team that was at the ambush site.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she explains that. Yeah, I remember that. So,
and that was the big event that sort of like brought down almost her world as well. Like they were the unlucky tower versus the other lucky tower.
Yeah.
Like just the two towers and the contrast between them was a very stark thing.
Yeah. Speaking of CJ, Jennifer Estampador, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. Haynes, just 3 names.
You got it.
She says, though I loved Lizzie, I so wanted CJ and Saul to be a thing.
I think at one point you were like flirting with that in the writing.
I never did.
Okay.
He would never cheat on Lizzie Blair.
Because of that. Because Saul is a loyalist through and through.
Yeah,
and I don't think there would have been any wavering moment because he is so pure of heart and conscience and dedication that is his golden quality. I don't think he would have with CJ even after Lizzie was gone. There wasn't even a hint of like he could ever be with her. And in many ways,
that was like Angry Saul.
Mm-hmm.
I never forget that. What was that season?
Yeah, you were angry. You're lashing out.
Yeah. It was Angry Saul. Yeah.
Because you lost your muse.
Yeah, I remember.
You lost your muse, and anybody who has had to raise a child. Yeah, and you had to be a dad on your own now.
Yeah.
So, it's in many ways when your muse left this world, you had to be with her soon enough. So, We're Alive is their story. It is their story. It's they are the main arc that's hidden.
There was great chemistry though between the Saul and the CJ.
Oh yeah.
And the Victor. I just remember that Fernando scene.
Well, here's the interesting thing about that. CJ still lives with your impact. Like your influence of her lasts her entire life.
Well, and Nicholas is still around.
And Nicholas too.
That's true.
And Nicholas too. Like how your son deals with the world after you're gone is very crazy.
How cool.
Oh yeah, I'm teasing the hell out.
I
of
know
that.
you are.
How cool. How cool.
I know you.
Sounds
are.
like, I don't know. It sounds like a series to me. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, it sounds like
Sounds
it's
like a
been
series.
very well fleshed out and very, very
Like a series.
far
I
along.
mean, if Casey has thought out how the infected take dumps, he's thought about what happens with the rest of
that's
this
true.
universe.
That's true. That's the mastermind.
That's the logical next step.
I just like creating.
It's just so much fun. It's like, ooh, where can I
I like
explore this
being
character in
creative,
30 years? Like, what happens in 30 years? Not that's
Man.
too far. 17 sounds better.
And then last comment is not a question. Kenny Guzman says, Nate is the man! The scene with Lizzie on the chopper was a masterpiece. I'm a 250-pound burly bearded man, and I had to shut it off or start crying.
Oh.
Excellent performance.
I thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man.
You know how many times I cried working on that scene?
Yeah,
Ugh. The best Foley I've ever done was for that scene.
Really?
I'm listening to you, and I'm hearing everything through you, and I'm performing your feet for you.
Yeah.
On top of a filing cabinet. And I almost fall off because I can almost not keep my composure. Because it was so, like, I'm crying because I'm hearing my wife die in a way. And it's like, and hearing it through you, and it's like, it was just so brutal. I actually haven't listened to it in years.
Wow.
It's
still
such
emotional.
a tough scene. And most people don't know this, but all the way down to the details of the baby. Like, I had a recording in my nephew's delivery room for that scene.
No way.
So even the baby recording is at day 0 for that scene. It was so meticulously planned of all these elements to come together.
I'm gonna wait till this baby pops out. I'm gonna bring my recording gear. I'm ready.
Everybody's like, oh, it's born, and Casey's like, okay, can we push that back
In
up
there
in real
with-
quick? Like I just
Can you make it cry
Get
more?
another
Make it
take.
cry more.
Like wait. Can you pause on the? Like, don't bring it all.
Wait, put it back in.
Yeah,
Put it back in. I wasn't ready.
I need a little bit more of a crying this time. Oh no.
Oh, no, and honestly, but the crazy thing was, that was actually that recorder. My brother did it for me. But my nephew was like almost 3 years old by the time that the episode aired.
Wow.
Yeah. It was that early on recorded. Like around season 1 or 2 is when I actually recorded that episode.
Bro.
Or the baby portion of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good foresight.
Well, I knew where it was going. Like once I knew and figured out that piece of the puzzle between you and Lizzie, it was like everything else.
When did you figure that out?
It was early on. It was definitely after this episode actually. Because I still had like some ideas and some, this could be an avenue and this could be an avenue. Like one of the avenues was Angel could be the new leader of the tower and that kind of thing. And so there's all these different things, ways like I could have gone. But then I started to see the relationship between you and Lizzie form. Actually, I think this is one of the catalyst episodes that kind of built that. And then as I went forward, it was like, no, this is where the story is. This is the emotional connection here is stronger than any other one.
I'd have to agree in terms of like if you're gonna pick a relationship for We're Alive, that just sort of something that the audience can lock in on, and go, okay, this is a very not that the other relationships weren't strong.
Michael and Pegs. I mean, no one's gonna vote for them.
Yeah, no, there was just a lot going on in the Lizzie Saul sort of thing that just really resonates at your core level of like, yeah, we want these guys to succeed. These guys are awesome. And then when you bring in Tanya, then it's even more like, oh yeah, okay, this is a fully extended family. I mean, everybody was a family in a sense, but this was like a fully extended family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's so weird though, but like, it's so much of you is carried on through them afterwards. Like you are like it's Saul forever. That's all I can say.
Sounds like another series.
The exploits of what happened when you were absent.
I'll show you some stuff after we go off the camera.
Yeah, some sneaky things. That's it for the questions. Let's invite Graham back in so he can say goodbye. Baby, come back.
Baby, come back. How's life been up
Baby,
there?
I'm a fool.
Cool. That's some bugs.
Crawled on by bugs.
Don't sit on it.
You didn't really miss much here, man. No, we just talked about, episodes 4, 3, 2, and 1.
44.
Oh, I was in those.
Well, I was there for that.
No, it was okay out there, but it was I missed you guys.
I know.
Well, now you're back.
Now I'm back.
The Avatar of the people.
Back just in time to say goodbye.
Yay! This brings us
so
to the
this is
close
it?
of our We're Alive archive, chapter
fun.
5.
I saved all the spoilery things for the end, so you can
Thank you
maximize
so much for
your
coming.
time.
This has been like
this was
awesome to have you back.
I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed me here.
No,
This is
no.
awesome.
Yeah, we'll probably have you back.
If there's any particular chapter you're like, hey, I want to be for that one, you just let me know and we'll make sure we put
Well,
you
I
in.
mean, I love that you picked Lady in the Tink because this was.
It was the best episode for you.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. I was like, wow. Oh, I didn't have because I will say I was super jealous of Jim just because he got to do voiceover. I was like, how come I don't get to do the voiceover?
And then you
I'm
got
a
it.
really good voiceover person. Why did Jim get to do the voiceover? And then when I got to do it, I was like, oh yeah, I don't really want to do it. Like I don't like this.
It does kind of suck. Because it's like
my voice is this is horrible. Like why am I doing this? You're not even acting. You're like trying to act, but you're like nah, you're trying to sound cool.
the voiceovers are like weird asides.
I know.
Like and you have to be perfect because they're like the voiceovers are spent. You can't mess up as much.
No,
it's weird.
No, and you know, I mean, they were fun to do, but like they're not as fun to do as the scene work. For sure. So I was never. It was so funny too because I remember thinking that too. Because I remember when I got the script and I was like, yeah, Casey's gonna hear how I deliver the voiceover. It's gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna switch it over. It's gonna be all Saul voiceover. And then I was like, you know, when I was doing it, I was like, maybe. I don't really want to do
I am
something.
a Saul.
Yeah, I don't really want to do all that. That's not really my jam. My best Morgan Freeman will still be a very poor man's Morgan Freeman. So I'm gonna pass on that.
Did we ever find out what the Tink was?
Lady in the Tink?
Saul Tink, man.
Oh, this is his name.
Yeah, Saul Tink. Yeah.
Man.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know? Wait. Was that established really early?
It's actually in this episode, I think.
I didn't hear it in this episode.
I thought it was established like in the first.
Yeah.
First
They
or
do say his
second.
name. You may not have.
I must have missed that one right there. I'm like, well, that's Lady. What the hell's a Tink? Oh, Saul.
Yeah.
Got it. Now it makes sense now. Okay.
and obviously it's a playoff of Lady of the Tramp, him being a tramp, her being a lady.
I also, what I really thought was because you're not allowed to call Lizzie Blondie anymore, I thought they were going to start calling her Tinkerbell.
That would have been clever.
Yeah.
Rewrite it.
But he still calls her Blondie.
He
does.
That was like one of my favorite things to do, calling her Blondie. It was such a, and for me, like that was always like it made me think of one of my favorite movies, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So it was always like channeling me being able to channel that into somebody. Blondie.
I love it.
And then I ended up calling my girlfriend Blondie.
Oh no! And did you break up?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think that was the reason, though, Casey.
She was a brunette. That was the weird part. Like,
no, she ended up changing her hair color to brunette. So.
To stop you from calling her Blondie.
Okay, now we understand. Well, awesome. Thanks.
Sweet.
Guys,
Well, thank you everybody for those wonderful questions. We are excited to be back with you again next month with Chapter 6. Man, I'm trying to think of the name of Chapter 6. It's The Remains of Eastern Bay. That's right. The Remains of Eastern Bay is Chapter 6. We'll be back next month. I don't think we know who we want to have on for the guest yet. We'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
Ooh, that might be a good Jenna episode.
Jenna McComey. Oh, I used to love my Jenna was so intense too.
I think that would be an episode for Jenna.
Jenna McComey.
We unconfirmed, but we shall see.
We'll give her a call. We'll give her a call. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We will be back next month. This has been Casey Whalen, the writer-director of We're Alive.
Nate G, Saul Tink.
Graham Bechtel, the Avatar of the People.
Brian Lincoln, some editor guy.
No, Brian's more than that. And to truth be known, Brian's actually doing some work on some Gold Rush stuff right now. So
sounds like a series.
Yeah, heard it first here, folks. And I am Shanti behind the camera. Not really. I'm just sitting down here in the corner. Thanks, guys.
Take care. We'll see you all next time.
Bye. Cool standoff line.
And clap. Yay!
Yay.
Thanks, all you live streamers. We are signing off. We'll see you next time.
Conditioned air, please.
So this is the fifth one. Who's
Did you hit the live feed?
We started off with Tony Ray.
Oh,
And then we
Tony
had-
Tony, man.
Yeah.
Is it Muldoon?